You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.
Match of the regular season for the Central Division. This one again featuring for the second consecutive match, Dallas Xforia Giants and the Dallas Mustangs. Captains Harmeet Singh with the Xforia Giants and Hamad Azam with the Mustangs. Third umpire is Partha Patanaik. The home team this time, I believe, will be okay. All right. The coin is an Indian 10 rupee coin. When you're ready, sir. Heads is the call? It's a heads. Do you... In fact, this is going to be interesting. I think I know what you're going to do, but tell me anyway.
We're gonna bowl.
I'm going to bowl first. Give me the reasoning.
Actually, the only reason is like yesterday it was so due and it was really hard to grip the ball in the second half. So we are just trying to bat first this time.
Okay.
And ball first.
Oh, you changed your mind. Okay, and so you've accomplished what you wanted by winning the division. So what do you need to have done for this match?
I mean, like we have to keep that momentum going. So obviously, like we are almost through in the playoffs, but we want to stay on the top. So we'll try to win this game as well.
Okay. Fantastic. Best of luck. So Harmeet, you're not going to be the number one team, but there's still a lot to play for. The second position has a whole lot of advantages over 3 and 4. So number one, how important is it for you? And then number two, where do you go with this game?
No, I feel each game is important, but today again, as you said, if we win, we can get the number 2 spot. So it's going to be important that we put our best foot forward. And so I think batting first or second, don't think the wicket is going to change much. But I think if we put a good score on the board, yeah, that's what happened to us yesterday. The wicket was really good, but once there's score on board, a couple of tight overs here and there, a couple of wickets together, when you're chasing a high score, that does take toll on the chasing side. So that's what happened, I think, yesterday. But let's see. Let's put a total on score on board and fight it out. Yeah.
Fantastic. Best of luck. So the news from the center is that the Dallas Mustangs have won the toss and they've decided to have a bowl.
Thank you, Brian.
A festive environment here at the Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium in Grand Prairie, Texas, for the final match of the regular season between the Dallas Mustangs and Dallas Xforia Giants. Dallas Mustangs won the toss, choosing to bowl first. So the batters in the middle for the Dallas Xforia Giants are going to be Ramiz Raja and Smith Patel. Brian Walters here with you, and I'm pleased to welcome to the commentary area the great, experienced Mayuresh Gokte. Good afternoon, Mayuresh.
Hey, good evening, Brian. It is a festive environment. I'm glad they've doubled the hair and makeup budget for today and allowed me to join you here. It was a cracker for game yesterday. 400 runs scored, I think. So I think the wicket looks great. I'm excited to see what's going to happen today.
Oh, my goodness. So the Central Division, which is a very competitive division, very closely packed teams, but the Dallas Mustangs effectively won the division last night after having won the game against the Xforia Giants. Given where they are right now, even if they lose today, they will still be the top team in the division. We'll go through the chart in just a second. But I think for this match, there's almost no motivation for the Mustangs, other than just to maintain their
Surely bragging rights are on the
bragging
table.
rights definitely has a lot to do with it. But then the other piece is that you want to be sort of fresh for the playoffs. So from that standpoint, you want to, maintain a certain amount of momentum, and I think it will be important for them to establish that.
You said it, winning is contagious, and it's just great to have that momentum. Opening the batting is Sumit Patel, who had a pretty exciting knock yesterday, 62 of 40, and Ramiz had a small hand as well as 30 of 18. So they had a good stand, a good opening yesterday. Let's see if they can kick it off today as well.
Absolutely. So the new ball in hand, Ehsan Adil, former Pakistani opener, first delivery, punched into the leg side for a quick single. Oh my goodness, that was a shot at the non-strikers, and Ramiz Raja almost fell asleep there, almost got run out first ball.
Yeah, one of the good things about this field is just a beautiful field. The outfield is so smooth. If you guys recall, this is where the Major League games were played, half of them as well as the final. What an opportunity to play on a field like this. So there's going to be feedback. There's going to be just reward for good cricket shots on this field.
And it was mentioned a couple of times yesterday. The field or the pitch that we're playing on is the second furthest west on the ground. So there's a disproportionate distance from one boundary to the next. Talk about that in a second as that ball is driven to mid-on. Quick single.
Oh, another tight one.
At the stumps again. That would have been close.
Well, I don't think the Giants have quite judged the pace of the outfield here, because the ball is getting to the fielders pretty slick. They're going to have to get on their bicycles a little bit faster to make these singles. It's good to see them going for these ones and twos early on. Get the blood flowing. They just need to go a little bit faster here because they're given a little bit of fielding practice early on here for the Mustangs.
Well, you certainly want to be able to hit big, but any opportunities to get singles, obviously a very major part of the sport. Ehsan Adil looking to keep things quiet. Lovely looking stroke, but right to mid-wicket. And again, look at this. They'll actually get runs here. They may get 4. But that was so close to being a run out. They do get 4, but I want to take a look at that again. That was Sajith Gowda at mid-wicket, picking up and shying at the stumps at the non-strikers, and he would have been gone for me if that had hit.
Yeah, well, the Giants are 0 for 3 for judging, and the Mustangs are 0 for 3 for hitting. He was not in the crease. He was there for the taking, and an example of how good the outfield is. That's the most productive tap for 4 runs you'll see in cricket.
Tell you what, 3 delivers in.
Yeah.
There's 6 runs on the board, and I don't know that either batter feels comfortable at all, because that easily could have been the end of the day for Sumit Patel. Ramiz Raja again facing up to Ehsan Adil, who sprays one down the leg side. For the first time, you see one of the umpires in action. That is Vishnu Pillai, standing at the racecourse end. The umpire currently at square leg at the theater end is the experienced Samir Bandekar.
I'm actually very excited to see this pair bat together. Ramiz is a little more of a classical batsman, and as I mentioned, I think there's going to be just reward for good shots here. Sumit tends to be a more aggressive, maybe more modern style player. So I think that combination could be very exciting to watch here.
Ehsan Adil again. Oh, knocked him over. Falling straight. Look at his reaction. Poses for the cameras. Falling straight. The top of middle. And you see those zing bales light up in the Dallas evening. 7 for 1.
If you're going to hit the stumps, that's the way to do it. Hit the top of middle, and there's no confusion here. He's out. Fantastic delivery there.
My goodness, look at this. Now, Ehsan Adil gets very close to the stumps on delivery, so right down. And that ball cut back in, started moving away, hit the stump or hit the pitch, came back in, and then he poses for the cameras. There are a handful of people around in a very festive evening tonight. You might hear the noise and the music in the background. So there's a lot of people around, and Ehsan Adil making sure that they saw him. Look at this. First the reaction, and then the turn and the pose. That is
beautiful. I wonder how long he thought about that one.
Wow.
He's been practicing. Beautiful high action from the bowler. Just comes in nice and tall and straight. Ramiz Rogers seemed to indicate that it came off his elbow, so it may have been a bit of a played on. But just a beautiful high action. And that length was perfect. Just wasn't, keeps the batsman in two minds. Do I go forward or do I go back?
Adil, again, just look at the replay.
Beautiful high action. Hits the perfect spot. Do I go forward? Do I go back? And off the elbow onto the stumps. And the pose, well.
That will never not be funny, by the way. I could watch this replay 100 times. Okay, so we're ready to go now. Karshik Gomel is in fact, Ankit Khera, my apologies, is the number 3 batter. Ankit Khera, who is going to be is going to have his family here watching, I think, and facing now up to first delivery is given him
out.
LBW. A long sustained shout, LBW, and the slow finger of death eventually goes up from Vishnu Pillai. And Ankit Khera, unfortunately for him, only stays for one delivery. And all of a sudden, the Dallas Mustangs are on top. The Xforia Giants are 7 for 2.
This has been a very fast-paced beginning here with the 3 chances for runouts and then 2 balls, 2 outs. And Khera was almost like looking to see if he can get a DRS on there, whether his body language was talking. Be good to see this one again and see where it hits him. Again, that tall, high action close to the wickets. And that looks pretty plump to me, Brian. He's just playing across the line. It was pretty full. I didn't see the wicketkeeper leaning towards the leg side, so I'm not sure there's much to dispute over there on first reaction.
Absolutely full and straight, and I think your analysis is correct. For me, that's probably hitting leg stump. So 2 quick wickets, and all of a sudden, in the very first over, the Dallas Mustangs are almost at the Dallas Mavericks. Like you. The Dallas Mustangs are on the ascendancy, and Ehsan Adil is on a hat trick. So it will be Chaitanya Bishnoi's responsibility to first deny the hat trick. You see a little bit more of an aggressive field now. A slip, in fact, 2 slip fielders in position, and now strengthening that slips cordon, because that is now Mansab Gill, who's coming into a gully position. The left or the right-hander bowling over the wicket, looking to slant the ball across the lefty. So that's why those slip fielders are in position. Here's the hat-trick ball. Ooh,
That's
good lifting delivery. Hear the oohs and ahs. Didn't get the hat-trick, but I don't think that will bother him much. Ehsan Adil, excellent, excellent first over. 7 for 2 is the score after 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट में क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
So 7 for 2 after 1. A frenetic first over. 3 almost run outs, and then 2 wickets. A whole lot happening in that first over. Over number 2 will be bowled by the lefty, Roman Rais.
And this is the challenge of T20. You know, almost you feel like the batsmen need to bring a sense of calm to this innings, but this is the power play. Only 2 fielders outside the ring. You don't get too much time to just let the overs go by, but you definitely get the sense that the Xforia Giants need to just bring a little calmness into the middle there, get back to fundamentals, and see if they can do a mini rebuild here while still taking advantage of the power play. Sumit Patel on strike. He's only had 1 delivery. He's 1 of 1. Had a great innings yesterday, 62 of 40. And Chaitanya Bishnoi's new batsman, who's a left-hander at the other end. New bowler is
Roman Rais.
Roman Rais.
Lovely delivery. Left arm, relatively quick, not anywhere near as tall as Ehsan Adil. Ehsan Adil is probably about 6'4". Roman Rais is probably closer in height to somebody like, going back to your and my time, Malcolm Marshall. About 5'10" or so. Very stockily built, though. Strong shoulders. Doesn't need a long run-up like Esanadil does because he delivers much of that pace just from his shoulders. And look at that ball when he bowls it, curling into the right-handed batter from over the wicket. That's a good angle to get from a left-hander into the righties. In the air, and that's going to go probably run away for 4. It's a long boundary out there. It's about 86 yards, but it does have the legs to get there. On his legs, I mentioned he swings that ball into the right-handers, but this one a little too straight, clipped away for 4.
Yeah, beautiful shot, clipping off his pads here. Good to get Smith going. Yeah, he actually almost worked it off the offside. Very elegant follow through there, working the ball from the offside onto the leg side. But just beautiful little timing there and good reward from the outfield. Smith's an exciting player. I've seen a few innings of his, and he just going to be exciting to see how he goes about this innings right now. As I said, we need to bring some stability, but let's see if he can keep the positive intent going here.
Looks to cut this one, goes past the outside edge. That one didn't swing as much. In fact, it went across on the angle through to the keeper. And so a dot ball. Look at this delivery. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, again, keeping it very tight. The line is tight, which is what makes it very effective. Doesn't give the batsman too much room, and probably surprised him a little bit there on the bounce. If I look at the two fielders that are out of the ring for Reese right now, he's got a third man. They made an adjustment. They put a man at a deep square leg after that 4. So protecting that leg side boundary versus the fine leg right now.
Played off the back foot down to that player, a fielder you just referred to at deep third. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two rebuild. So Chaitanya Bishnoi, who typically for most of the season has opened the batting, 140 runs on the season for him, a high score of 41, strike rate of exactly 100. So you mentioned earlier about needing stability at this stage. Stability, I think, is what you need, and then you also need to be scoring runs. To have these two at the wicket at this time, I think, is exactly what you need to have. The more enterprising batter would be Smith Patel and then Chaitanya Bishnoi to make sure that the scoreboard can keep ticking at a strike rate of 100, but you're not going to necessarily be looking to take any risks.
You said it.
So next delivery here by Ruman Raiz. Good delivery now to the left-hander. He's swinging it away from him, which is why you see a couple of slips in position again. Oh. The stumps.
I'll tell you what, the Mustangs are very aggressive with their throws at the stumps right now.
I would love to see that again because he was very casual there, Chaitanya Bishnoi. I don't know that he would not have been run out because the ball is still live. So he was sort of ambling and looking down and not really taking care of being inside the crease. This should give us a quick look here. Look at this. Okay, he did get back in.
Like
He's already in the crease. Luckily. Okay, so that was harsh. My apologies. Okay, this is the last delivery of over number 2. Hammered. Oh, that gets through backward point. That should really have been stopped. That's not going to please Captain Hamad Azam, one of the better fielders that you'll have anywhere in cricket. That is Nash Kenjige, but it gets through him and goes away for 4.
End of the second over. Let's see the replay here. It's a beautiful shot. High back lift from Simit, and he just chops down that ball and cuts it viciously, I have to say, to the square boundary on the point.
That is the end of the over. At the end of 2, the score is 17 for 2.
Welcome back here to the Grand Prairie Stadium. Beautiful, beautiful evening by Texas standards. Cool evening. Got a bit of a vibe coming around the ground. Over number 3 about to start. Over number 2 for Ehsan Adil, who's bowled a fantastic first over to getting 2 strikes. Chaitanya Bishnoi on strike.
Oh, Ehsan Adil with that line. Again, the angle going across the left-hander. Chaitanya Bishnoi, again, exactly who you need at the wicket at this stage to sort of promote some stability in the innings. Very festive night, a lot of music around Mayuresh. Almost makes you wish you were 20 years younger again being on the field. Well, that makes me wish I was 20 years younger. For you, probably 5.
It's all right. Different ends of our careers. I put my stud shoes on just in case there was an ask for an extra fielder somewhere. You never know. In case there was a slip and fall in the bathroom, we never know if they need an extra fielder. I'm ready. Just let them know. But it's a beautiful field. It's what professional cricket looks like in America.
Oh, look at that lifting delivery. Ehsan Adil with his follow-through taking him a few feet away from Chaitanya Bishnoi. Big fast bowler is fired up. Anytime you take wickets as a fast bowler, you run in with a little bit more purpose. Your follow-through becomes longer, and that stare becomes more pronounced.
He's bowling with a beautiful rhythm right now, and you consider like it's a summer evening here. There's no swing. We haven't seen any swing at all. Not much deviation movement, but even then he's still troubling the batsman, getting a lot of respect from him. It just shows the rhythm and perfect line length that he's bowling.
Played off the back foot, going into his crease and playing down to deep fine leg.
That's the second inside edge. I'd love to see the replay of that. I can't, because this will go back to your days as well, Brian. Not so much my playing as yours, but if you can see the replay on that, 3 slips in play. When was the last time we saw that in cutted clothing? Look at that.
Look at this.
3 slips. I love it. I love the aggression. I love the message they're sending to the batsman.
Oh, that you get. You pointed it out. I missed it when it came live. You don't always see that. In fact, I don't remember the last time I saw ever 3 slips in a T20. Short of length, shy at the stumps.
There we go. And they hit.
I'll tell you what, that is good work. That is excellent work from short fine leg, but they run through for a single anyway. That is...
Well, they got the combination right there. The throw was accurate, and the backup was actually even better because it took a deflection.
Yes.
So probably saved 4 runs there.
Yes.
Worked nicely off his hip. Another good, easy single. Hits off the stumps.
Wow.
And now if they could see the replay of the backup, you can see the bowl's like, hey, is it really needed? We're protecting the boundaries and protecting my stats as well.
So 2 balls remaining here in over number 3. Slightly less aggressive field now, only 2 slips in position. And in fact, a change in tactic as he's now going around the wicket to the left-hander. So looking to slant this ball in, and then with the movement off the pitch, looking to have it leave him, I think is the thinking. Good delivery. Defended in front of the stumps for no run.
Yes, Ehsan's setting a great tone here. He's given nothing for free in an over and 5 deliveries. He's just been bang on target every time.
So just bearing in mind his figures there, you can see 2 for 8 from 1.5, but 4 of those 8 should not have been
overthrows. Indeed,
it's an overthrow.
Yeah.
So effectively, take that away. He's 2 for 4 from 1.5. So he's bowling excellently.
I'm sure in his mind he thinks he's already taken those off the scoreboard.
Exactly. Last delivery of over number 3. And a quick single taken. Good running, good effective running. So you pinch any runs that you can if you're the Xforia Giants, because you've taken a couple body blows at the top of the innings and looking to rebuild. 3 overs up, the score is 19. We'll make that 20 for 2.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
This is the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship 2023. Lakshmi is the official partner of Minor League. Minor League Cricket's Cricket for the Community partner is Brew, and Minor League Cricket's outdoor partner is Dolphin Media. Find us on all of our social media channels. Just search for Minor League Cricket. Specifically, if you're on Twitter or X, you can find us at MIL Cricket. Feel free to interact with us there. If there's anything that you want to add to the conversation, we'd be more than happy to talk to you. In the meantime, Roman Reyes has the ball back in hand and looking to bowl his second over. Good lifting delivery, going past the outside edge. First delivery in the books. If this were a boxing match, who do you give the first couple of rounds to?
Well, it has to be the Mustangs. 2 strikes in the first over. It takes a while to recover over that. So I think they've won round 1 and 2. I don't think it's a knockout. Obviously, just 2 wickets, and we see a bit of the rebuild happening, as we mentioned. But I think the first 2 rounds have gone to the Mustangs. They've set a tone. They've set a pressure cooker environment here with the ball, which is really good. And it's a great challenge. Let's see how Xforia can come over that.
Oh, looking aggressive.
Oh, there's an edge there, yes.
Gone. Wow, look at that. The one who we said was going to get stuck in and sort of make sure that the scoreboard kept ticking actually goes for a big drive outside off. But that movement with the left armor swinging it away from him finds the outside edge, and the delivery or the decision made there by umpire. In fact, that appears to be umpire Partha Patanaik. I thought it was Samir Bandekar who was the umpire, but umpire Patanaik with the decision saying that he just did find the outside edge. So another wicket falls, 20 for 2.
First little aggressive move, walks down the wicket, takes a big swing there. You said there's some natural movement, there's some nice swing, nice shape to the ball. Not much, but enough to get the faintest of edge. But I think everyone there knew right away it was out. I don't think there's much doubt about that one.
Oh, that's good camera work. I think you just saw the deflection there.
Yeah.
Look at Roman Reyes. He does not even turn around to appeal. He just starts his celebration.
And I was about to just say, Smith Patel's been doing pretty good. He's only had 7 deliveries, and whoever the batting partner is out there needs to try and get him on strike, because he's looking good. He's looked really fluent while he's had strike. Looked very positive, and the rebuild continues. I think round 3 is leaning towards the Mustangs again. This is a solid bowling performance up front here.
So the new batter is Akarshit Gomel, who is easily the best batter in terms of aggregate runs for the year on the side. He has 283 runs, leads the side in that category. 350s, strike rate of 151. First delivery. Oh, where does that go? It goes for 4. In fact, those are runs. It's off the edge. What a great delivery to start. Caught him on the crease, kissed the outside edge. It gets between the or the keeper and first slip and goes away for 4.
2 things to look for in this replay here. Slanting across the batsman. Beautiful little movement in. It would have been into the batsman. Then look out for the double teapot coming from the bowler if you can catch it. There it is.
Well, look, that's a left armer's dream.
Wicketkeeper kind of nudge and point to the first slip there as well.
Who, me?
No. So there's a bit of there's a lot happening after the ball is dead as well.
Wow.
Oh, and still some movement here. There is some definitely swing for Roman Reyes here. And it's been the same direction. He's not moving it both ways, still moving it into the right-hander. Be good to see with that first slip. I think that they're repositioning that first slip now. I think they're having a conversation of wingspan discussion there between the wicketkeeper and the first slip. If they're going to stay where they are, I think they're a little bit too wide. I know the left-arm bowler is going across the batsman here, but it looks like they're just getting further apart.
The thing is, you're effectively covering 2 positions with one man. I think you need to choose whether you want a first slip or a second slip, because if you have that fielder right where you are now, then it's a little bit wide. Those thin edges are not going to go where you want them to go. That's a single into the offside.
End of the. Do we have one
more
ball
ball
to go?
remaining.
Sorry, pardon that. Again, beautiful shape from Reyes.
Okay, so take a look at this again. Perfectly bisecting that gap. And look at the bowler, the double teapot that you referred to.
Teapot. He's looking for eye contact. The wicketkeeper looks away. I'm not looking at the bowler. I'm going to look at the ball for now. No eye contact. I have to say that was probably the wicketkeeper's attempt there. If you know the first slip is that wide, That's the one you have to go after.
I would agree with you. My
Oh.
goodness, it thuds into his
Look at
thigh
that follow
pads.
through. Look at that follow through. Malcolm Marshall would have been impressed with that follow through.
I will say it's relatively good natured. Both of them are smiling. Great delivery to close things out in over number 4, though. Dallas Xforia Giants are struggling, 25 for 3.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back to Grand Prairie here in a beautiful Texas evening. I'm going to call it. It's a cold front by Texas standards. Beautiful evening. We got a bit of a vibe in the crowd. Kids out here, some Doltasha music playing. It's vibrant out there. It's a bit of an uphill battle here for the Dallas Xforia Giants. They're 3 wickets down in the power play, just 2 overs to go in the power play. There's been some fantastic bowling from the Mustangs. They've been 100% disciplined, on target, and they are attacking here.
No problem. Esanadil starting his 3rd over. Oh, tell you what, that was destined for the boundary. That was headed right back between mid-off and mid-on. But Esanadil using his foot to stop that one on the follow-through. Look at this.
Smith Patel, I think, being aggressive as usual. A little ricochet there. Little look at the batsman again. I'm very impressed with the strategy here from Mustangs, giving Adil a 3rd over. He's bowled so well. It's good reward for him. He looks like he's going to produce a wicket at every delivery, even without the swing from his end. So I'm glad to see him getting a 3rd over.
Absolutely. So here he is again.
What was that?
Umpire shaking his head.
Umpire was quick to shake his head on that one, but that looked awfully good. A little bit of jagged movement in, I think. I have to see the replay on that. Might just be the height that comes in.
Height would be the first thing that would come to mind for me. You take a look at this. So, again, very close to the stumps. I'll tell you what, that's not that is not far off. He caught him on the crease. What do you think?
Brian, in the business, we call that umpire's call.
My goodness, here we go. Esanadil again. Good delivery, played into the offside. Probably a couple runs here. In fact, no. Yeah, they do come back for a couple. So this is the 2nd time that Nosh Kenjige has touched the ball in that area. One of the better fielders, I mentioned him earlier. At some point, you're going to turn to spin. And with the dismissal of Chaitanya Bishnoi, the 2 left-arm spinners in the attack, Nosh Kenjige and Ali Sheikh, you would think would feature heavily out of the power play overs.
Brian, we'd love to hear from you. With 3 wickets down, how deep does this Xforia Giants lineup bat?
I will say this pair needs to bat through about the 15th over if they're going to put up a competitive score. The batting is not as strong as, for example, the Mustangs. And the other thing is the next batter to come in is going to be Harmeet Singh, I would think. And he is a big hitter. He absolutely loves hitting the cricket ball, but he's most dangerous if he's coming in maybe, I mentioned the 15th. So you come in, face 5 overs, and he's the kind who will get you 50 or 60 runs in 5 overs. But I don't think you'd want him to be able to come in at that high up in the lineup. And I mentioned the 2 left-arm spinners.
Yeah.
The left-arm spinner certainly wouldn't want to be bowling to Harmeet Singh because they turn the ball into him, and he can be that much more aggressive.
Well, let's continue the discussion right after this delivery. I want to talk to you about target scores, so I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about that. And another beautiful delivery that's just perfect length. He's using his height. He's getting the bounce. Not short enough, and he's definitely zippy enough that the batsman can now rock on his back foot. And he's going to leave a few marks on the batsman's body, I think. Maybe some ice packs going around the dugout later on in the day. So going back to target, yesterday the Dallas Mustangs set a target, or hit 222, which is a very a great score.
Monster score.
And Xforia Giants were on target with their chase about to the 8th to 10th over. They were going ahead of target, and despite the fact that they didn't make it, they still posted 179 runs. So the question then is, what is a competitive target on this wicket? You've been here 2 nights in a row. Wicket looks great. You tell me what you think.
I think anything above 160 is a challenging score. I think that anything that is going to be where they're aiming right now with that dot ball, 2 runs from this over, 27 after 5, they're on target to score 108, and they'll need a whole lot more than that. We can continue the discussion after the over. 5 overs up, 27 for 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
We're back here at Grand Prairie. Dallas Mustangs against Xforia Giants, the table toppers in the Central Division of the Pacific Conference. Top 2 teams on the second day of the doubleheader here. Yesterday, the Dallas Mustangs were the winners by a bit of a margin, posting 222, but that's yesterday's story. Xforia Giants batting first today. They were asked to bat first because last night they realized there is dew in the second innings. And when the Mustangs won the toss, there was not much doubt in Hamad Azam's mind about bowling first to not have to deal with the dew, which is where I want to pick up the conversation with my good friend Brian here about what is a competitive score. Yesterday we saw 222 in the first innings when the outfield was probably the fastest. And you could tell that the second innings was a little bit tougher to grip the ball and bowl. Xforia is a spin-heavy team, if I remember right.
Yep.
And this wicket, I'm not sure how it was responding to the spinners because it looks like pretty flat.
Not a lot of turn, it has to be said. In fact, Hamad Azam is the captain. He takes over now from the third end. Knocked him over first delivery, full and straight. Smith Patel looking to play that one through mid-wicket, it seems, playing across the straight ball, and he disappears. Another body blow landed here, 27 for 4, the Xforia Giants. Boy, full and straight. I want to see this replay again. Talk us through this when this comes on, because doing everything right here, the Dallas Mustangs, and this ends up probably being a little closer than we thought.
Well, you know, Brian, you and me like to talk about yesteryear players, and this one reminded me when I saw it first time. I don't know what his natural pace is. It felt like just a first loosener. It was that Hansi Kronier type pace with a little gentle medium swing, with a little gentle movement. I think Sumit just played all around it. I think he was expecting something bigger and faster, just played all around it.
Wow. Well, certainly full and straight. It obviously adds to the electricity of the evening to see the zing bales and the stumps light up.
Oh, definitely some movement there.
A little bit of movement,
Absolutely.
inward movement after pitch. It was probably on an off-stump line and then pitching back and kissing middle and leg. That's a great delivery by the captain.
It didn't hit very high up on the stumps. It was right up halfway up the stumps as well. So, I look at that innings from Simit and I just feel like he's been a bit of, I'll say the word victim of the other end, just having wickets fall. He only faced, I think, 8 or 9 deliveries out of 30.
Wow.
You know, the first 5 overs, and he's been their best batsman already, most aggressive. He's looked in good touch. I think this is what happens when you just get a little bit starved with a strike and you're seeing wickets fall at the other end.
So Udaybir Singh Walia facing up now to Hamad Azam, full and straight. Udaybir Singh Walia is a U21 player, and he's thrown in at the deep end here because he has a fired-up team. The Dallas Mustangs look absolutely on top of their game, and everything that Hamad Azam has done so far has come out in the way that he's wanted it to.
It's interesting, they sent Uday Walia up. I think you were talking about Harmeet Singh coming in next. Looks like they're holding him back just a little bit. And Uday Walia is the new batsman. And this is an interesting little pace that Azam is bowling at is always a tricky one sometimes.
Wow. Well, he's maybe not quite as quick as the opening bowlers, but he's quick enough and powerfully, stockily built. Not quite as stocky as Ruman Reyes, for example, but he delivers the ball at a fair amount of pace, and he definitely is he's an all-rounder, obviously a big hitter, in addition to being a good pace bowler.
Yeah.
And so he can be a handful.
And he's definitely getting some sort of movement with this ball. It's the 6th over, and shows, I think, a little bit about his skill.
A little bit of sloppiness there, but doesn't hurt them.
Continue to play the game of hit the stumps with Mustangs. I think they're at 1 for 5 right now.
You're actually keeping track of that. Well, Hamad Azam, first over, not yet conceded a run and has already taken a wicket. So a good start with the ball for him and with the team. My goodness, everything that they've done again so far has worked. The scoring rate is all the way down to 4.76, which translates to a score of 95. You asked about what a competitive total is. I don't think that anything under 160 is going to trouble the Mustangs very much. Obviously, anything can happen in the sport, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with anything less than 160. In order for them to get anywhere near 160, as of this stage, they'd have to get up to somewhere around 9 and over from here. 9 and over gets them to 156. 10 and over gets them to 170. So that sort of gives you an idea of how far behind they are and how much they have to make up. And much of it is going to come down, you'd think, to Akarshit Gomel, 7 from 9. Lovely looking strike, but a sliding stop at mid-off by Ruman Reyes. So a single to close things out here in over number 6. That is the end of the power play. Done and dusted there. The score is 29 for 4.
आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back to the Sunoco Minor League Championship here at Grand Prairie, day 2 of the doubleheader between the Dallas Mustangs and the Dallas Xforia Giants. And the Mustangs are definitely throwing a couple of punches here. Xforia Giants are in trouble. They've lost 4 wickets, and it's been a lot of credit to the Dallas Mustangs. The bowling has been fantastic. It's been disciplined, it's been aggressive, it's been on target. And we're sitting at 29 for 4. End of the power play, so the field is spreading out now. But it'll be good to see if the Mustangs keep the pressure on, given they have the upper hand right now.
Staying with Esa Nadil. So he's bowling out his spell. 3 overs so far and 2 for 11. So great start with the ball for him.
I have to wonder if there was even a discussion about him giving up the ball. I don't even know. I have a feeling he says, "Nope, I've got it. I'm gonna bowl while I have my tail up." And he's looked dangerous. And he's the one bowler who actually hasn't swung the ball this evening, which just tells about how good he's been.
Typically doesn't swing it much. He's much more able to move it off the seam, and he moves it off the seam both ways, so it can be very difficult to play when he's on song. Good delivery. Udebir Singh Walia looking for a single there. Not, in fact, now applauding. That was the Karshik Gomel, apologies, but he's applauding Udebir Singh Walia because he sent him back. He would have been a dead duck had they decided to run there. So talking about projected scores, they're currently scoring at the rate of 4.58. That is not obviously anywhere near what they'd need, so they're going to have to accelerate at some point. But accelerating becomes difficult when you don't have a very deep batting lineup. And again, I think the next batter in would be Harmeet Singh, and then after that, you have a relatively low chance of having anybody down the lineup be a heavy hitter against the side. Running it off the outside edge. It is Nash Kenjige down at the boundary at deep third.
Well, step one is to start rotating the striking of the ones and singles, ones and twos going. The field has spread out. Mustangs have chosen to keep a slip in play and 4 additional fielders in the circle. So they haven't pushed everybody out yet. But there should be singles, ones and twos on offer. And that's where we need to start. Maybe get that run rate up to 5 and 6 slowly without taking too many risks. And try and create a platform for the big hitters to come in towards the end. It's 20 overs. It's not over yet. I mean, this is a long game, even if it's 20 overs. They have to go believe that if they can put a total on the board, they can give themselves a chance.
Solid in defense is Udebir Singwalia. So 2 balls remaining in the day for Ehsan Adil, who's bowled brilliantly, as we've talked about a couple of times before. Had been carrying an injury the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see him back and fresh. I would not be surprised, very frankly, if after he bowls, he puts his feet up and goes off and a substitute fielder comes on for him. He's
spoken like a fast bowler. Why am I not surprised? Brian, in his days, was a left-arm swing bowler there. And he's speaking from the heart, I think, when he says...
completely speaking from the heart. But also, look, if you see what I see now, Ehsan Adil has pulled up because, in fact, look, he's now limping.
Oh, my goodness. This is unfortunate.
I hate to see that happen because I talked about him carrying a foot injury, and it looks like he's suggesting that he might not be able to plant.
Yes.
Now, if he is able to finish this over, and I'll tell you, one of the worst things that you can be as a fast bowler is carrying an injury to your plant foot. Okay, looking at the real quick
Let's look at the 2 wickets that he's generated today. The first one was just a beauty. Straight, fast, off the inside of his elbow from Rees, and the pose. And then I believe this is the first one. Yeah, same one again. And this is the second wicket he's gotten. Again, just a beautiful delivery. I believe this was LBW.
Yep.
Full straight, batsman playing across the line. And it was a bit of a formality just to ask the umpire.
So let's see how well he does here going back to live action. Remember, he's just showing that he's an injury. He's had an injury, and he's pulling up horribly there. I don't think he should try to finish this. And he's down. I think he needs to go off. And that's a shame because he was bowling so well. And, you only have one more ball in the over, one more ball in the spell. But bigger picture, the playoffs start they're the number 1 team, so they get essentially a bye for the next section of the playoffs. But he needs to take care of himself, and that is his plant foot that he's favoring. In fact, no, it's not his plant foot. He appears to be favoring his right foot, and there you see him having a look at his right calf maybe. So I would genuinely suggest that he goes and puts his feet up.
You see some of the tape already there. Looks like he came into this game with something going on.
Yep.
And showed no signs of it for the first 3.5 overs, to be honest, as this is the sight you never want to see with any athlete, any sportsman. Really hope that he is back on his feet quickly, and it's a small little bump in the road because he's just bowled beautifully today.
Yeah. He picked up that injury playing in a T10 tournament, I believe it was in Florida, several weeks ago. And for the most part, appeared to have been over it. But with that injury, one over or one delivery of his over remaining, that one will be bowled by
Is it Noman
Anwar.
Yeah, Noman Anwar.
Yeah.
Finishing out the over.
He's a leg spinner. And I would think that Akash Gomel prefers to face Noman Anwar than Ehsan Adil. Here's that last ball. Played off the back foot. Sweeper out there on the boundary. Cleans up. And so unfortunate for the Dallas Mustangs that their big fast bowler goes off injured, but he did his part while he was out there. 7 overs up. The score is 31 for 4.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Welcome back to Grand Prairie. Beginning of over number 8. It's been action-packed, to be honest. Not necessarily with the runs. We've only had one boundary shot and one overthrow, but the bowling has been fantastic from the Mustangs. They picked up 4 wickets, and we probably seeing the introduction of spin very soon, if I'm not mistaken.
In fact, that is Nas Kenjige, who's about to bowl from the theater end. Quick summary. A lot of single-digit scores there. You're not going to be happy about that if you're the Xforia Giants. Smith Patel with 10 and Akashik Gomel currently with 10 are the high scorers for the day. And that's not something that you want to see when you are in the area that you are right now. You're wanting to start pressing toward something competitive, but it's not going to be easy from here. Nas Kenjige is a really smart bowler, really good bowler. And I mentioned Ali Sheikh, the other left-arm spinner. So scoring is going to be difficult from this stage. And, of course, you're out of the power play now, so a lot more defensive field. And so all in all, it adds up to a difficult time here for the Xforia Giants. First delivery played into the offside. Nas Kenjige off and running.
Naushad Kenjige bowled very well yesterday, picking up 2 wickets. And there were 2 double strikes in the same over. And that really set back the Xforia Giants yesterday, just derailed there.
In the air. Oh, a diving attempt. Did he take that? No. Fell short, I believe. That is Ali Sheikh. I'll tell you what. You always want to see where Ali Sheikh is because that's where the difficult catches are expected to come. That is a big boundary that he was trying to take on there. That's an 86-yard hit. And Ali Sheikh came running in. Look at this. Skied in the air toward mid-wicket. Look here.
Well, great approach. He was committed to the catch, went forward. A good, honest man. Let everyone know right away, not on. It was almost a reverse commentator's curse. I said he had a double strike yesterday. He almost had a strike here. So, different phase of the innings here with the spin coming on.
Yeah.
So the music is getting lively here in the stadium as the little pause in play there from the umpire, Samir Bandekar, as Naushad continues. As mentioned yesterday, Naushad had a double strike in 1 over and just pulled back the Xforia Giants chase, who were ahead of target in chasing 222. So he's definitely someone to watch out for. Good easy single to a long off. So Dallas Xforia Giants still struggling to pick up the pace here. We saw a little bit of aggression there from Uday Wali in the previous few deliveries, and the catch falling short. But they're going to have to go find ways to create runs and opportunities here.
So another typically miserly over bowled by Nas Kenjige. 2 runs coming from the over at the end of 8, 33 for 4.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back to Grand Prairie. Over number 9 about to begin. Is it going to be our captain continuing? Ahmad Azam, I think. Brian, did I call it right there? Your youthful eyes. Oh, come on.
But that does appear to be Ahmad Azam, yes. Yep. So switching ends, bowled his first over, found immediate success bowling from the theta end. He's switching around now, will be bowling from the racecourse end, the northern end of the ground here in Grand Prairie.
3 fielders on the offside to save a single, and 1 fielder just getting adjusted right now at short, fine leg.
Here's Hamad Azam again. Oh, good delivery. Has Gomel jumping. Gomel, again, the leading batter in the side and has scored almost 300 runs for the season, but he's being kept quiet here. 11 from 18, and one suspects that any conversation about a big score from here is going to include him scoring heavily, because I think between him and Harmeet Singh, those are going to be the ones that are most likely to get the team up to a competitive total. But again, it's not going to be easy. Advancing down the track, lofting it into the deep. Again, that's the larger side of the ground here on the eastern side of the ground. And so they have enough to run through for a couple. Oh, no ball called. Missed the call when it happened live. Hamad Azam is furiously disputing that call.
He is making his case.
But the umpire is not going to change his mind. Hamad Azam is really genuinely upset. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a free hit. And he's completely, Hamad Azam, really not happy. But again, the umpire has made his decision. And
this is, let's have a look if we see anything there. Well, he may have a case to be upset. I think if I were to go by replay, his foot did look like it was above the line. But a decision's been made. He needs to move on and get back to his back of his mark and bowl the next one.
And
it's
that's
going to be a free hit.
Exactly the point. Exactly the point. The umpire has already made his decision, and whether or not you agree with it is not really part of the equation. So the free hit delivery, of course, with the same batter on strike, the field cannot change. So Hamad Azam is going to be looking to keep Gomel quiet here. Whipped away into the leg side. The free hit doesn't cost them much, only cost them a single. So you'll take that if you're Hamad Azam. And obviously he's not happy with the decision of the no ball, but once again, the umpire's decision is not one that is up for any debate.
Brian, can you tell us more about Utkarsh? Is he one of the younger players in the team?
One of the more younger players in the team. Let's just go through his stats. In fact, we'll do that after this ball. Hamad Azam again. Smashed down the ground, but catchable. Well, we're going to have to talk about Akash Gomel after we talk about this wicket. Sort of a cross-batted slap with Abir Singh Walia, probably feeling the pressure, needing to accelerate 2 from 9, but only finds one of the safest pair of hands on the field, Nash Kenjige. Another wicket goes down.
Abir Singh Walia, trying to turn the tables, be more aggressive. Can't fault him for doing that. Unfortunately, he just was not able to execute. The ball was not as full as maybe he thought it was, and couldn't get all of it, either the elevation.
Well, everything, again, that Hamad Azam has done has turned up exactly the way that he wants it. And another wicket going down, 37 for 5. Amazing. Yeah. So you ask about Akarsh Gomel. 10 matches this year. 8 innings, 2 not outs, 283 runs, of course not counting today. 22 fours, 17 sixes, leads the team in both of those categories. And 3 50s also leads the team there. High score, 75, the only one who has had a score that high on the team. With a strike rate of 154. And the only person who doesn't have a strike rate higher than him, or the only person who has a strike rate higher than him, was just dismissed with Abir Singh Walia.
Yep.
So we talked about it before. Harmeet Singh is now at the wicket. And I'm not exactly sure what this discussion is about because he's upset about something.
And, quite frankly, Brian, I'm trying to figure out there's really been no demons out there, be it in the wicket. There's not been some swing. Would you expect that with a new ball? Mm-hmm. I think there's just been a bit of a lack of application from the batsman. Maybe they're coming in from a bit of a high of yesterday of it's going to be a high-scoring game and they want to be aggressive. But there hasn't been too much to fault the wicket, the conditions. There's beautiful outfield. And Xforia Giants have dug them a very nice hole for themselves. And digging out of it is going to be very challenging at this point at 37 for 5.
Captain to captain. Hamad Azam hits the bat hard. And in fact, there you see immediately Harmeet Singh looking at the splice of the bat where that ball hit. Once again, when a fast bowler takes a wicket, the next couple deliveries are usually very quick. And particularly if you're going to be upset about a no-ball call before your adrenaline is pumping at this stage.
I was just about to say, it looks like he's gone a few clicks faster. And the benefits of being captain, you get to give yourself a slip.
Of course.
And we joke here, of course. He's made some fantastic calls, bowling out Adil and also bringing in all the bowling changes, himself included, 2 wickets in just 1.4 overs.
Ooh, flashing outside and missing a couple of dot balls. And interestingly, you mentioned a slip. It is Andreas Kraus who's at first slip, carrying a finger injury. So I don't know. Yesterday when he was feeling like a short, fine leg or somewhere out of the firing line. It would be interesting to see if that ball comes in his direction. He's usually the wicket-keeper batter, but choosing to not keep because he's protecting that finger. But if you're not keeping because you're protecting your finger, the last place I would expect to see you is at slip.
I hope he's had the conversation with the wicketkeeper that he's going for the one that goes between them.
Exactly. That is punched into the offside. Another successful over for the Dallas Xforia for the Dallas Mustangs. 9 overs up. The score is 37 for 5.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Welcome back to Grand Prairie Stadium here. We've got young kids out here. We've got some balloon animals being made, some music playing. It's a festive environment. If you here's a replay of a couple of hours ago of a catch going between first slip and the wicketkeeper. Is it mine? Is it yours? Is it me? Is it you? Wicketkeeper kind of does not make eye contact with the bowler. Neither of them make eye contact with the bowler. And if we're going to have a slip catcher with a finger injury, I would think that that territorial demarcation line is going to be well established ahead of time.
I would tend to agree with that. Now, interestingly, he hasn't bowled much this year, Naman Anwar. He bowled 1 ball to finish off Ehsan Adil's over, but he gets the ball back, smashed down the ground and caught. Everything they do is coming up trumps. No. And I'll tell you what, that is Nash Kenjige with his second catch, and all of a sudden, Akarshit Gombel is dismissed for 14, and another huge body blow landed here by the Dallas Mustangs.
This is going to hurt so much. That was a large part of the boundary. We talked about that side of the field being 86 meters to the boundary. He's the only fielder out in that area, the only person out there, and he barely had to take a step to make that catch. Watch this. First ball up. It's not a great delivery, let's be honest. It meant to be hit. It meant to be, but just found the one player out in that deep cow corner region. Nobody else said. This is Texas-sized field. It's like the one cow on the land that the farmer puts out there, and he found him.
That is a monster. To talk about the dimensions of the field, it is 86 yards on the eastern side of the ground. On the western side of the ground, that boundary is 62 yards. So it's literally a quarter of 100 yards longer on that side than it is on the western side. So if you're going to, in fact, you said it was a filter delivery. In most contexts, it's a filter delivery. In this context, where you're asking him to hit to the big side, you're essentially fishing. You have you put the bait out there, and you have the batter take that bait. Long hop, absolute long hop, and you're asking him to hit exactly where he just hit that ball.
He could have gone left. He could have gone right. He could have gone over. Number 64 looks like a stroke of brilliant field placement right now. And when one spinner takes the catch of another spinner, there'll be some I got your back, bro moments there.
So the new batter is going to be Prakash Patil. The Xforia Giants are in shambles here. We may end up getting an early night. 37 for 6. 6 wickets down. We have not gotten yet into the 10th over. In fact, this is the 10th over in progress.
And it's such a contrast from yesterday where it was almost 400 runs scored.
So Patil immediately off the mark, working it straight to that man again, Nash Kenjige.
Do you think it's a bit of the situation of where they are in the points table? Yesterday there was something to play for, and yesterday's decision kind of solidified the Mustangs as number 1 position going through to the conference semifinals. Whereas
I don't think so, because at the toss, Harmeet Singh said or agreed, I suggested to him and he agreed that there's still a lot to play for, because the top 4 teams are truly clearly bunched together. I'll say more after this ball. That's worked into the leg side for a single. So the top 4 teams are very nearly bunched together. In fact, we can take a look at the standings. As of play today, the top team in the division is the Dallas Mustangs, 14 points. They're 2 points clear of the Michigan Cricket Stars. Dallas Xforia Giants, as of right now, are in 2nd place, or in 3rd place. If they lose today, they remain in 3rd place. They have to win to jump back to 2nd place. But that is a huge development. They're going to be done after tonight, obviously. But they're going to need to make sure that they win tonight just to be able to play in, to remain in 2nd place. So the difference between 2nd and 3rd place is that there is a bit of a eliminator game played between the 3rd and the 4th teams in the division. 2nd place, you don't have to have that little playoff. So you have essentially it's an advantage to being in the 2nd place versus the 3rd place. I didn't do a really good job explaining that, but let's just say you need to be in 2nd place for essentially an easier ride through the playoffs. And so there's all kinds of motivation for them to be able to do that. But it's not looking good right now. This should be the last ball. Yep, last ball of over number 10. And
back in a bit, 40 for 6 after 10 overs, halfway point of this innings. Back in a bit.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back, and not a Manhattan at all. If you see that chart, it's been unfortunately a very disappointing batting performance so far from Dallas Xforia Giants. 40 for 6 in 10 overs. They need to stay steady. They've still got a few players with some talent there. Harmeet Singh himself, the captain there. They have to go find a way to go put a score on the board and give them some chance. But you see, there've been steady wickets there, and over from 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just been slow going, wickets falling almost every other over. And the Mustangs captain Hamad Azam just really can do no wrong right now. He's continuing to stay in the attack over number 3. Andres Gross does not look like he's in slips anymore, so that finger is clear of any present danger.
Hamad Azam starting his 3rd over. Good delivery. Just run down to deep 3rd for a single. It's Ali Sheikh down at deep 3rd. Interestingly, once again, you sort of look to see where Ali Sheikh is fielding. He's easily the best fielder on the side, covers a lot of ground, and so it might seem counterintuitive to have your best fielder down at deep fine leg. But what that tells me is that at some point, a short ball is coming to Harmeet Singh, who's going to try to, who you'd think would be pulling it in that direction. So pay attention to that. Played off the back foot this time. Oh, sliding there by Rishi Ramesh. Not picking up cleanly, but doesn't cost him anything.
So a good point in the field situation here. So we're only a minimum of 4 fielders inside the ring have to maintain. They've got 3 in the offside, making a ring from backward point. cover and mid on, and I guess a slip or a fly slip. Looks like Andres is back there, if I'm right. Down the leg, that should be a wide.
Well, that's the kind of delivery that I was expecting when I was talking about Ali Sheikh down at fine leg. Because, you know, usually fine leg is where fast bowlers go to rest. You don't expect that.
That's the old days, Brian. That's back in your time. There's no rest for fast bowlers. We see the best diving and making catches and all that stuff. There's no rest for fast bowlers. But Harmeet Singh does have a deep square leg who's now getting a little bit in front of square. Well, they're still making up their mind, but a little bit in front of square from my angle on the boundary, and a fine leg there for a hook type shot.
Oh, great delivery going past the outside edge. Harmeet Singh having a hard time getting going. 1 from 7 so far. And again, I mentioned earlier that you want Harmeet Singh coming in when he can play with a certain amount of freedom. And he's a good enough batter to be able to handle these circumstances, but you take away his natural aggression when you're asking him to bat through the entirety of the innings.
That's the
Smashes
aggression.
it in the air, going to be wide of extra cover, 1 bounce and goes away for 4. So there's the aggression that we talk about.
There we go. This was smart cricket. We talked about the boundary fielders on the leg side. On the off side, they just one sweeper at cover. Mid-off was inside the circle. So if he cleared that person, it was a clear path to the boundary. So it was a safe shot in the context of the field placement.
So Harmeet Singh with his first boundary. Again, he was taking a little bit of time getting going, but he'll absolutely accept that gift that was given to him. It was in the slot, has to be said. And Harmeet Singh taking full toll. Same field, did not make any changes. Here's the next delivery. Goes past the outside edge again.
And this is the part that still confounds me a little bit with the approach that the Giants are taking. That was a fantastic shot from Harmeet, got his 4 runs. I haven't seen any attempts to run the ball to third man for a single, drop and run. There's huge gaps on the leg side. Huge gaps. Texas-sized land grabs over there. So there seems to be this reluctance to try and find a path to rotate the strike right now, which I have to say it has to be part of the process right now.
Looking for the big swipe again and missing again. Where did that ball pass? I want to see that again if we could, because I'll tell you what, that did not pass very far away from the off stump, I would think. Look at this. Oh, cuts back off the seam. Probably if that were a 4th stump there, it would have hit it.
5th. It was between the bat and the stump, so
yeah,
missed it on the inside edge.
Well, that's the end of the over. The score is 46 for 6. Well, when you're a part-time bowler and you take a wicket to dismiss the best or the biggest hitter in the side, you get another over. And so coming on, more bowling again. A similar delivery to the wicket ball, actually. And this time, not only does Patil play it defensively, but then the shadow shot, the next one, was a big pull to the onside. Smashed away through extra cover for 4. That's a good-looking shot. Short and outside off stump. Hamad Azam in extra cover, not able to prevent that one from getting by. Always going to go over for 4.
That's a good quality shot. Not the greatest delivery again. Wide, short, and just pierce the gap between long off and mid off. Cover along the ground the whole way, and it is a beautiful outfield, as we've mentioned before. If you can clear the inner circle, you find your gaps, you will get reward for your shots here. So a nice little atmosphere forming here in the ground, and there's some good food out there as well.
Similar delivery again to the one that took the wicket, this time keeping it on the ground, Patil. And that's Rishi Ramesh at short mid-wicket.
I've heard there's also going to be a a raffle for some cricket bats.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Of course, that wouldn't do me much good these days, but, you know, look at this throw. Throw from Ali Sheikh came from the boundary all the way down to the bowler's end. So the keeper's end, rather.
That was quite an arm.
Exuberance of youth. The exuberance of youth. That's all that is. And by the way, the 50 has now come up. 51 for 6, and we're in the 12th over, if you can believe it.
It's all about momentum. Let's get some momentum in these innings. Stranger things have happened.
Bowled him. Inside edge. Looking to play it off the back foot. I think that kissed off the inside edge and disturbed the furniture. Harmeet Singh dejected, but he has to go. 7 wickets are down, and my goodness, the Xforia Giants are collapsing like a house of cards here. Look at that.
Harmeet Singh's going to have nightmares this week because of this wicket, which is fairly innocuous delivery again with an inside edge onto the stumps. And if you were watching yesterday, I'm not sure we can bring the replay from yesterday's match, he got bowled through his legs yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Between those two wickets, I think he's not going to sleep a wink this week.
Boy, he's not going to like seeing that inside edge onto his boot, onto the leg stump. So.
And part-time bowler, did someone say part-time bowler? No one on bar? I hope he didn't hear you because he's just sitting on 2 wickets right now. And he's gotten the captain Xforia Giants out.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go take a quick break here. End of the, I think we're, no, sorry, we still have one more delivery to go. Can't count to 6.
Well, 51 for 7 would not have been on anybody's bingo card at the start of this game, regardless of which team you thought was batting. Yeah. That's just not a score that you would think would develop.
It's unfortunate because we've got a nice crowd forming here, a little atmosphere, so they came here to see some good cricket. Hopefully, I was talking about momentum just before that wicket fell. If they can create some momentum, create some energy in this innings, play smart, take the runs that are on offer here with the large gaps in the field. Wow. There's a little gift there, wide down the leg side.
Wide ball. So I believe the new batter is Jasgaran Singh Buttar. We'll confirm that as soon as we can. In fact, it's looking here. I believe that that's exactly who that is. So facing up one more ball. Driven down the ground. In fact, no run taken because it goes right to mid-off. So a successful over by the person who I used to call a part-time bowler. I might have to change my mind about that. 5 runs and a wicket in over number 12. The score is 51 for 7, 52 for 7.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Well, the rebuild is not building at all, unfortunately, for Xforia Giants. 52 for 7 is not something they want to be proud of at this moment. Going into 4.3 runs and over. They've just lost their captain. We're definitely into the lower, I guess we call them the lower middle order nowadays. We're into the lower middle order. And bowling change with Noshud Kinjige coming in to bowl. He just bowled the 1 over 2 runs. So not doing spin at both ends. Ahmad Azam has been bowling at one end and now adding spin from the other end for the first time today.
Excuse me, Nosh Kinjige. Oh, sliced in the air and the simplest of wickets, looking to go big. There's almost no celebration, no reaction, because at this point it's like taking candy from a baby. My goodness, another wicket goes down. The Norman Anwar cannot stay out of the action because there is another wicket that goes down. 52 for 8, if you can believe it. Absolutely horrific start here to this game for the Xforia Giants.
I wish I could say there's something special going on here. It's just a ball pitched outside off, finger spinning, taking it away from the right-hander, who looks to go pull it to the leg side. And it's a healthy edge. Sky to Numan, who can't keep him out of the action.
My goodness. So if you're looking to see where runs are going to come from, you've lost essentially all of your batters, because this is now going to be Akhilesh Bodagam, the tall finger spinner. But to have him feature in the game, you want him to be featuring with the ball in hand. And coming in at number 9 to join a fast bowler who's already at the wicket, who has not yet scored any runs, that's not the way that you would have constructed this innings if you were the Dallas Xforia Giants. But here we are again and again. I would not be surprised to see a steady diet of left arm spin the rest of the way, defended in front of the stumps for no run.
I think you got to give credit to Dallas Mustangs. They've done nothing wrong. They've given nothing for free, just 5 extras and 1 overthrow for 4. And they've just been disciplined. They've been on top of everything, taking all their catches. And the fast bowlers set it up. Pace bowlers up front with early wickets in the power play. And then the pressure is just being applied by the finger spinners right now.
Tossing the carrot up there once to see if Akhilesh can continue to resist. So far, Akhilesh not biting on that bait. But I suspect that Nush is going to keep tossing that ball up. Yeah. Eventually, he'll go for 1. I think that's what he's telling himself.
They've kept the field spread out. They've kept the catches out on the boundary. So I think they expect a lower middle order batsman mindset or tail-enders mindset to not resist going for the big swipe eventually. And got the long on, long off, a deep sweeper on point boundary, which is actually interesting. I know the ball is spinning that way, but you could assume they're expecting batsman to hit a beautiful late cut. May not be happening with this pair.
Well, I think both of these two batters got the memo that they need to bat at minimum through the innings. And that is the end of a successful over. Stop me if you've heard this before. Another successful over for the Dallas Mustangs. Xforia Giants of 54 for 8.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Well, the steady drip of wickets continues. Spin at looks like both ends.
Yep, as expected, Ali Sheikh is coming into the attack.
I think what I'm going to be looking at, Brian, right now is the more I'll call them not the part-time, but the more senior spinners. If they start getting some turn and grip, because as we mentioned, the Xforia Giants are predominantly a spin attack. They've got some fantastic spinners. Of course, you need a target to protect, to give spinners a chance. But I'm just going to be curious to see if at all there is some spin in this wicket.
Well, I don't think that they're going to be looking for any big hits just yet. At some point, you have to start thinking, okay, I don't care if we have 8 down. We need to start giving our bowlers something to defend. So eventually, you'll expect to see a couple of big hits. But I think over number 14, with only 10 and 11 to come, I don't think that you start hitting big just yet. Of course, Jasker and Singh Buttar could go in for the fences and prove me wrong, but I think that should be their mindset.
That, my friend, is a leave, I think.
So I think that's evidence that what I just said is probably accurate, because their priority right now, believe it or not, is going to be to bat the entirety of the innings.
Yep.
And there you see. Was that a leave? Do you give him credit for the leave?
As a lower order batsman, I'm going to give him credit for a leave on that one.
Worked around the leg side, and they'll get a couple.
That's actually a quality shot there. Nicely played, straight bat, played it off his hips for 2 runs. When was the last time we saw 2s taken in this game? Let's give credit. That's a good shot. And he's playing, so far, some straight bat defense, taps. And that's what we need for another 6 and a bit overs to just pile on as many runs as possible.
Well, as of right now, you're scoring at the rate of 4.15 and over. 5 and over from here gets you to 89. You'd have to go at 7 and over to get over 100. Straight down the ground.
Almost carried to the bowler there for a second.
Yeah, Ali Sheikh, he's a bad person to try to hit the ball right back to because he swallows anything in his zip code. But able to get that ball just wide of Ali Sheikh.
I'm looking at the field placement. Like, there's still 3 boundary riders on the leg side here for the swipe against the spin. Deep square leg, deep mid wicket, cow corner, and long on.
At some point, I would think that you bring in that fielder at cow corner to even toss the carrot out there a little bit more. Try to tempt him to hit.
They're bringing the long on in right now.
That's
so
more tossing of the carrot, I think. Trying to incentivize the batter to hit over that man at now mid-on. Played into the offside. That's Hamad Azam.
And Buttar once again showing good use of the straight bat there. End of the 14th over. 57 for 8. Be back in a second.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
This is the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship. Thank you for joining us right here in the Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium. Lakshmi is the official partner of Minor League. Minor League Cricket's Cricket for the Community partner is Brew. Dolphin Media, Minor League Cricket's outdoor partner. And a relatively festive environment here in the Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium. A number of fans walking around. It is absolutely free to come to cricket. If you are in the Grand Prairie area, please feel free to come on down. Frankly, I'm not sure how long this match is going to last, as Nash Kenjige has the ball in hand to bowl his final over. My apologies. This is his 3rd over. And did I just see a big fast bowler attempting a scoop shot? I think that's what I just saw.
Oh. Jaskaran and Deep Singh Buttar on strike here. I think the one thing that still confounds me is the deep point boundary rider there for the sweeper on the offside. That would mean you're anticipating your number 9 and number 10 batsmen rocking back in their crease and playing a delicate late cut past the gully between them. Here's the big swipe across the spin. Is challenging that long on fielder. Oh, that's a fantastic bit of fielding right there.
Wow.
Who parried it in to save 6 runs. And again, Mustangs showing that they're still in this game and playing, with full intensity.
Well, he definitely saved 5 runs. This is lofted down the ground. Eventually, you expect the big fast bowler to take the bait, and he takes it here. And the ball goes up a mile. But excellent work there. Looking back at live action, in fact, going back to that replay again if we could. I want to see exactly how he did that. That was Roman Reyes down there at long off, or maybe, I'm sorry, long on. And both hands, for a split second, I thought that he would have been able to catch that. But
I thought it was good for a catch as well. I thought he was coming down versus going out of the ground. But maybe sometimes it's hard to tell where you are.
Okay, take a look at the catch again. Yeah, so he actually palmed it, but his momentum was taking him over the rope, so he threw it back in. Had he been able to hold on to it, obviously it would have gone for 6, because if you carry the ball over the boundary with you, that goes for 6. That's the end of the over. And at the end of 15, the score is 58 for 8.
Welcome back. We are in the slog overs of this innings. Xforia Giants, and
One would think.
It's been a tough battle. Mustangs have been all over the Giants today, extremely disciplined and making every move perfectly. Hamad Azam bringing himself on to finish his spell. He's bowled beautifully for 12 for 2 in 3.
Great ball.
And he just hasn't made a wrong move today. He just, every bowling change has been spot on, producing wickets. There's been a steady drip of wickets. It's been a good wicket, nothing crazy, no demons. The bowling has been tight. The batting is questionable in terms of shot selection, and just the I think the application of the batsman just hasn't been there today in general.
Well, Hamad Azam standing in as captain again for Corey Anderson. That's a pretty big hole that you have to fill, but he's done it beautifully. Scoop shot. That he attempted it once before. This time it goes off. It goes for 6. Look at that. Not expecting the big fast bowler to play that shot, but he gets in line and scoops it over his shoulder. That is an interesting looking shot coming from a number 9, but you'll take it every time.
That's why they call them lower middle order batsmen nowadays, because they have the audacity to take on a fast bowler, get on one knee, and try a little scoop over the shoulder, and he executed perfectly for 6 runs. That's as good as it gets in the business in the scoop shot.
Wow. He's not going to scoop this one, though, I don't think. Looking to force this one away. Thick inside edge takes it to deep fine leg. A long run for that fielder.
Oh!
And he cannot handle it. Oh, my goodness. Thought he had it covered there for a second. That is Mansab Gill on the boundary at deep fine leg. Thought he got there, but unfortunately fumbles it over the rope, and it goes for 4.
Brian, he did get there, but it was unfortunately a fumble. That's the first piece of bad cricket today from the Mustangs, other than an overthrow. But I think it was a ball was slowing down. He got there, and then I think just couldn't get his timing right to get down, hold it back. So a little bit of aggression coming here from Jaskarandeep Singh Buttar to get some momentum going here. Looks like he said, I'm going to go force the issue a little bit here.
There he goes, down the ground, long run, and it's saved. Look at that save by Ali Sheikh. Who else? And he couldn't, I'll tell you what, he makes up about 20 yards to his left. A brilliant piece of work by Ali Sheikh. And what you thought off the bat was going to be a boundary ends up just being a single.
Yeah, moves back, makes room for himself. Azam tries to follow him. It was full, so it was there for the hit. Didn't quite get the elevation, but good bit of fielding. It ran around the corner, run around the boundary, holding off. And I think what would be more disappointing is that they just got 1 run off it. There should have been at least 2 off that between the parry and the recovery from the fielder. So just presence of what's going on, and assuming that I was going to go for 4 runs.
Well, a little urgency. We're looking for some urgency, and here it is. 70 for 8 with 1 ball remaining here in over number 16. So maybe this is the stage where these 2 batters are thinking, you know what, it's time to start trying to give ourselves something to bowl at. So 1 ball remaining in the over, 1 ball remaining in the spell of Hamad Azam. And Jaskaran Singh Buttar is turning out to be the more enterprising of these 2 batters. Advancing down the track, taking on the longest boundary and clearing it by some distance. Wow. Look at this. Well, there is the most expensive over that we've seen so far today. 18 runs come from it. The score is 76 for 8 after 16. We'll probably see a replay here shortly. Talk us through this one.
That was a magnificent shot. There's no doubting that. It was not a bad delivery, but he just launched into it. Perfect strike. That's at least 105 meter deep 6. Wow. Beautiful shot. Clean hit. I want to see that replay one more time. Let's take a quick break. End of the over. Well, a little momentum here in the innings for the Xforia Giants. Buttar showing you, hey, this is how you bat. This is how you show some intent. And he's pulled off quite a magnificent 6 here. Gives himself some room. Bowler follows him, comes down. And that was just beautifully timed. That was a clean hit. That was not a slog. That was not a swipe. That was a quality lower order, lower middle order shot there, Brian. Stop calling him a tail ender and a bowler. That was a quality shot. That required fantastic timing. We talked about that boundary being 86 meters deep and cleared it by at least 20 meters to spare.
My goodness. So going back to the number 2 bowler, Roman Rais, I think Hamad Azam senses that with that switch in momentum, you're going to want to do something differently. So you've been essentially on cruise control for the last few overs, but toward the back end of the innings where this player has shown some aggression, at least certainly from the last over, 18 runs coming from it, you're going to want at this stage to do something to stem that tide. Going down the leg side this time. That's not how you do it. A wide ball to start things here in over number 17.
What's interesting is Ruben Reyes has 2 overs left with 4 overs to go in the inning, so we expect he'll probably finish out as part of the death. I'm curious to see who will bowl the other 2 overs with him. Ehsan Adil, who's off the field, but it was already done through most of his 4 overs, so there's going to be a need for spin in the last 2 overs.
Quick single. Shy at the stumps. That was going to be close, but he didn't hit. In fact, we talked about the fact that Andreas Kraus was feeling a slip with an injured finger. Well, he's now down at deep fine leg. So that's where I suspected that he'd end up. Good delivery. Just defended into the onside, and they.
Oh, that was close. That run-out attempt was on. I think Mustangs are now 0 for 7 hitting the stumps today.
Well, it was 1 for 7. He did
1 for 7. I apologize.
Yeah.
1 for 7.
How dare you take that one from them?
I do apologize. But this is getting interesting. We got the fastballs on Buttar, who's looked like he knows what he's doing, and he's coming at the bowlers right now.
Oh, into the stands. Look out.
Kudos.
Oh, my goodness.
That woke up some people.
Crashes into the seats right behind some fans. I'll tell you what, for a split second, I thought that one of those fans was going to be in trouble. But as far as the cricket ramifications are concerned, that is a short delivery that is spanked over fine leg for 6. That is a heck of a shot.
That is a statement. I thought the previous shot was good. I know it's on the hips. I know it's on the leg side, but it was a clean hit. And again, the distance, impeccable. He is striking the ball perfectly. His timing is fantastic. These aren't just top edges that are going out there. He is on the money. He's picking up the length and line quickly. I think he's making a case for a promotion to the batting order next time.
Here's Reyes again. That's a better delivery in terms of the length, but the line is wrong. It's going down the leg side. I think you need to be thinking, you know what, I'm not bowling to a lower middle order batter. I'm bowling to a top order batter. How would I try to bowl to him here? I think you would not bowl that ball from this end of the wicket where the boundary is only 60 yards. You would not bowl that ball to a top order batter. So I don't think that you should bowl it to Jaskaran Singh Buttar because he's shown an ability to be more than able to help himself with the bat.
And they continue to have the point sweeper who's done nothing for the last 5 overs. So let's use that fielder. I would probably put it, try and hit a wide Yorker on the offside. Buttar has hit some fantastic shots on the leg side. He's taken the straight deliveries on very well. He's taken the length deliveries on very well. I would either go Yorker or wide off the off stump and make him go fetch the ball a little bit.
I think those are the things that you'd consider when you're bowling to somebody who you want to keep quiet. And I think that's exactly the mindset that they need to have here. Roman Reyes, who's a very good bowler, but I think the game has drifted so much that you might have almost started thinking that, you know what, we're just sort of in practice match mode. And I think they need to take it a little bit more seriously at this stage. Looks for the big swing.
Ooh, it was on. It was on. That ball was in that.
It was in the slot, wasn't it?
It was in the slot.
I want to see what that looks like again. But, yes, I think he just does miss out here because this, if we had the technology to paint the slot, that would have been it. Now, I will say that ball did move back in off the seam just a little bit, so that was part of the reason why it was missed. But, again, you're needing to treat Jessica Buttar like he is an actual batter. And that's exactly the approach that you need to take from here. 2 balls remaining here in over number 17. The last 20 deliveries in the innings. Great Yorker. He's thinking about it, umpire Vishnu Pillai, and eventually says not out. Not only does he say not out, he signals leg by. So it certainly came off of the pad.
I think Buttar feels like he wants a run on his name there. He's not happy with that. I think he did get a little inside edge there, to be honest. Take at the replay here. It's hard to tell from there, swinging down the leg.
Yeah, so in terms of the LBW shout, that's clearly swinging down leg, so not out. The only question would be whether or not there was bat involved, and the only person that matters to is Buttar himself. Yeah. So Akhilesh Bodagam to face the last delivery. Yorker going down the leg side. Ooh, I think that may have just come off of his leg. And that is the last delivery to end over number 17. After 17, the score is 86 for 8.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back at the last 3 overs here of the competition between Giants and Mustangs. I use the word competition loosely. It's been very much a one-sided affair for the last 17 overs. But there's a small little matchup forming between Buttar and the bowlers. He has shown a little bit of a spine and spunk to go, a gumption, if we want to say, to go take on the bowlers a little bit. 27 of 18. He's given a chance to get to 100 for this team. He's on strike, so there's a bit of a mini battle forming between him and the bowlers. And as I suspected, there's a spinner bowling at the death.
Reverse sweep. He's showing you all of the shots in his repertoire. And look at this. They did not take the run.
That's the second time they've done that, doing a bit of ball watching to see if the ball gets to the boundary. That is a bit like a low order a bowler.
But I'm wondering if he's essentially farming the bowling. I'm wondering if they've decided, you know what, I'm going to be the one who's going to take on these bowlers.
All the more reason to push for 2 there. He's lost strike right there. He's the best batsman. He's looking like he's going to take on the players.
And this is an interesting matchup also. Bowling the spinner to him. Goes for the big boundary. How far does that go?
He's got it all the way.
Head of Rishi Ramesh for 6.
I apologize. They did take 2 runs off the previous delivery.
Oh, they did. Okay, my apologies.
Buttar did stay on strike, and he has once again cleared the longest boundary out there, getting on one knee and playing against the spin. A beautiful strike here once again.
I think if you give Nash Kenjige that ball to bowl again, he will bowl it a little bit more toward off stump. It was a little straight. It was going down, maybe toward Midland leg. This is punched down the ground. That's just going to be a single. Ali Sheikh will not let this one get by him. But I don't mind the fact that you're asking Nash Kenjige to bowl to Jaskaran Singh Buttar, because he's going to be aggressive. He wants to hit the long ball. And I think to whatever extent you can, you help him by tossing the ball up. And hopefully one of these will get off the top edge and go in the air. Now, it certainly results in the situation that you have right now, where you're having sort of runs flowing a lot more a lot more quickly than you're comfortable with. But I don't think that there was any doubt that that extra over that you referred to, where are they going to find somebody to bowl that extra over? I always thought it was going to be somebody like a Nash Kenjige.
It's a good challenge. He's got someone who's showing some fight. He's hit some brilliant shots, 36 of 21. So can't treat him as a bowler. Fielding change here. They've packed the leg side. Again, a deep square leg, or backward actually, making little adjustments there. A little bit between backward square leg, mid wicket, cow corner.
Oh, what a strike. What an absolutely brutal strike. Advancing down the wicket, taking it on the half volley and driving it straight. Straight as an arrow. No way Hamid Azam at long off could have gotten over in time. Another 4, and I'll tell you what, 14 from this over already.
You know, Buttar is putting on a bit of an audition here. Look at this one. This is something he hasn't done yet. Coming down the wicket, meeting the pitch of the delivery, and just drilled it. Drilled it. He's making a statement to his team. He's making an audition to say, look, this is how you play cricket.
Oh, my goodness. So that is the end of over number 18. An exciting one. 14 runs coming from it. 47 come from the last 5. The Dallas Xforia Giants are trying to fight back into this game. 100 for 8.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Back at Grand Prairie Stadium here for the Sunoco Minor League Championship, and a little bit of momentum here for the Xforia Giants. It may not be enough, but it's livened up the stadium. Jaskarandeep Singh Buttar has played some beautiful deliveries, beautiful shots. He's sitting at 40 of 23. And for the first time, the bowlers have gone a little bit wide outside of off stump and finding out that he may struggle with that line a little bit. But he's hit some exquisite deliveries. He's hit 3 sixes by my count. And a beautiful trot down the wicket to the spinner and drilling it behind him. He's going to basically hog the highlights package, in my opinion, for the Giants.
I would agree with that. Roman Reyes now into bowl his last over. Oh, look at this. Football skills this time, but not successful. They steal a leg by.
I think that was a slightly slower delivery. He rolled his fingers on that one if I were to watch that one again.
Well, to the extent that you want to give your batters or your bowlers something to aim at, and I think you're right there. He did roll those fingers over, and that ball moved in off the seam. A little bit of football action there at the end, not successful. But
who's on strike? Buttar. There we go.
Are going to see something here.
This is a game within a game.
Honestly do think that he's now going to treat him as though he's a batter. You're not going to get another short ball into the hips. You're going to get something, I think, outside the line of off stump or on a good length outside the line of off stump. And as we say that, there's a switch in the field and deep fine leg is going into place. So is he really thinking about bowling another short delivery? I think, well, let's see what happens first.
Or are they,
the field setting would seem to indicate that that's what he's trying to do. Or would it be the old 2-card trick?
I'm calling it scoop.
There's the ball outside the line of off stump.
Well done, well done. You called it, Brian. That's the way to go.
You have to treat him like he's an actual batter because he's 40 from 24 with 2 4s and 4 big sixes. And he single-handedly is dragging the Xforia Giants back into this game. A long way to go. As I said earlier, I think anything less than 160 is going to be difficult to defend. But you're certainly looking a lot more respectable now in over number 19 than you did a few overs ago. Oh, full and straight. He missed out there. Jaskaran Singh Buttar would know that he just missed out on an opportunity that was full going down the leg side. Any amount of bat on that, and you're looking at either 4 or 6.
You want that one back.
Yes. My goodness. So he only has 2 deliveries remaining here in over number 19. The figures bowled, or figures for Roman Reyes so far. 3.4 overs.
This is a good over by all measures right now.
Absolutely.
Just one leg by off it. It's a maiden if you keep going. There we go. He's on. It's 1 ball from a maiden in the 19th over.
Treat him like the batter that he is. He's not going to be intimidated by a short ball. Act like you're actually trying to bowl to a batter.
There's been a couple of rounds of this mini competition to mini battle to Buttar, but this little round here, Ruben Reyes seems to be showing his pedigree as a death bowler.
We're down to the last 7 deliveries remaining in this innings. Yorker drilled to mid-off. He'll take a single. My goodness, a direct hit. But he was home safely. So an excellent over under the circumstances. Only 2 runs coming from over number 19. That certainly slows the momentum for the Xforia Giants. Last over coming up, 102 for 8.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
All right, over number 20 of the Dallas Xforia Giants innings. A little bit of momentum forming. Buttar has shown a path here potentially to at least get a score on. 41 of 27 has been a highly entertaining innings. An incredibly valuable innings right now for the Giants. It brought them up into triple digits.
Ali Sheikh goes for the big hit. There's a big part of the ground and one bounce to that field at square leg. They do not take the single. So he wants all 6 deliveries, or wants to face all 6 deliveries in this over. I don't know that I've ever seen the strike being farmed in the first innings of the last over of a T20.
Oh,
it's going to get 4 for this. Didn't go anywhere near where he was looking to play it. Looking to play it through extra cover. Thick outside edge, takes it wide of the fielder at short third, and he gets 4.
I think he's right to try to farm the strike here. He's just shown that he can take on the bowlers. And this is the one shot he hasn't shown yet, the outside edge for 4. But he wants to demonstrate he's got all the shots in the book. At this point, that's the name of the game.
There's the big hit that is out of the stadium.
Goodness.
That is out of the stadium. The first time that lands is in the parking lot. And I'll tell you what, you'll see the third umpire coming out with the box of balls shortly because you're not getting that one back.
I'll tell you what, you may have some angry people out on the roads come in. There's a theater right next to this called the Theater End that he hit it into. I think a show just let out. The cars are driving out of there, and he basically hit it into a line of cars exiting the parking lot.
Oh,
wow, you can see the cars right there. He's hit it into... Oh my goodness. That is a strike. Let's see, that boundary says 80 meters. He's hit another 30 meters beyond that.
Oh, by the way, that brings up his 50. He's now 51 from 30.
30.
Amazing batting here. Easily the only person standing between the Dallas Xforia Giants having just complete chaos and respectability.
Brian, no one's ever accused me of being speechless, but at that moment I am right now speechless when I see the magnitude of that 6 that he's hit.
Oh, he absolutely
enjoy this shot, folks.
that.
Enjoy it when it comes up on replay. It is high-quality shot.
Oh.
This is not a small boundary. That is not a small distance. He's hit it out of the park into a parade of cars, and I just hope no one got hit.
Well, somebody has a souvenir ball, and they may not be sure what they're looking at.
Oh, my goodness.
Now,
well,
if you're Ali Sheikh, what do you do differently? By the way, the replacement ball now being inspected by Ahmad Azam. If you're Ali Sheikh, you have to bowl a ball that that he'll have to use his feet to try to get to. In other words, this one landed right in the slot. You're going to either want to bowl a Yorker length delivery or one that he has to use his feet to get to. That does not help. That's going to be 5 wides. This is turning out to be a really expensive over. As that goes down the leg side for 5 wide. Still 3 deliveries to go in the over, and there's 15 runs already on the board.
Just a touch of unraveling happening here. He's trying to go zip it through the air, drags it wide. Wicket keeper's not able to cover it. You won't see this on camera, but the captain, Hamad Azam, at long off, just kind of took his cap off in frustration. And he's like, come on, let's get through this over.
Yep.
Just get 4 deliveries down, 3 to go now. Actually, there'll be 3 more to go.
Yep, 117 runs on the board. Smashed for 4, just past the fielder, diving at extra cover inside the circle to his right, not able to get it, and that is another boundary. 19 runs already in the 20th over. By the way, the score is now 121. They looked down and dusted only 3 or 4 overs ago.
You weren't sure they'd get to triple digits.
No, I was not at all. But he hammers this. He absolutely nails this. That is Roman Reis inside the circle at extra cover. Didn't get anywhere near it. So the last 2 deliveries now. And Ali Sheikh, unfortunately for him, is having a bit of a shocker of an over. Bowled him. He comes back and takes the wicket. And Ali Sheikh, kicking the floor in frustration, knows that he just conceded 19 runs, but he takes the wicket of the chief destroyer so far in this innings. In fact, the only one who has a respectable number against his name. Excellent innings bowled here or played here by Jaskaran Singh Buttar, but he is dismissed 55 from 32, 4 4s and 5 6s.
Well, you can't fault him. He's going for the big hits. It's just a you miss, I hit situation.
Yep.
But take a bow, Jaskaran Singh Buttar. In fact, even the opposition players give him a high five on the way back to say, respect. That was a commendable knock. He's just given a little bit of energy into this team, a little bit of lift. Stranger things have happened, Brian, and this could be the innings that could be the difference.
Man. Last delivery. Played down the ground. They may want to run 2 here. They lose nothing by going for 2. And is that a run? It does count. He got across in time. And so Batola comes out, faces 1 ball, gets 2 runs against his name. 21 runs come from that last over, though. 65 come from the last 5. And look at this. 123 for 9 is where you end up. So in order to win this game, the Dallas Mustangs are going to have to score 124. Here's a look at the scorecard. Dominated by Jaskaran Singh Buttar, 55 from 32. The next highest score on that card is a tie between Akarshik Gomel and extras. so a lot going on there on that card. The innings by Jaskaran Singh Buttar pulls the Dallas Xforia Giants toward a healthy, respectable type of total where it looked like they were going to be all down and out. And then for the bowlers, talk us through what we see here from the bowling.
It was a beautiful start up front with the seamers. Ehsan Adil just set the tone, line and length, perfect bowling. Unfortunately, he had to hobble off, had an injury. He was well supported by Ruman Reis, who showed his ability to swing the ball up front, pick up a wicket, and also fantastic death bowling. Hamad Azam, as the captain, didn't do anything wrong all day, more or less. He picked up 2 wickets, and promotion from part-time to full-time bowler, no one onward, picked up 2 wickets. Not sure again. The other bowlers, everyone was benefactor today with wickets. Everyone walked away with a wicket today.
Fantastic. Well, that means that in the next several minutes, we'll have a little bit of a show. You might see the lights flickering in the stadium. The party atmosphere here. The music is going. And after a quick break, the Dallas Mustangs will be coming to chase down 124 runs. So signing off here for the moment. We'll be right back. Oh, knocked him over. Falling straight. Look at his reaction. Poses for the cameras. Falling straight. The top of middle. And you see those zing bales light up in the Dallas evening. 7 for 1. You're watching, I think, and facing now up to first delivery is given him out. LBW. Long into the righties. In the air, and that's going to go probably run away for 4. It's a long boundary out there. It's about 86 yards, but it does have the leg of over number 2. Hammered. Oh, that gets through backward point. That should really have been stopped. So here he is again.
What was that?
Umpire shaking his head.
Umpire was quick to shake his head on that one, but that looked awfully good. A little bit of jagged movement in, I think.
Now from the tip. Smashed down the ground, but catchable. Well, we're going to have to talk about Akarshik Gomel. Finish off Esanadil's over, but he gets the ball back. Smashed down the ground and caught. Everything they do. Big pull to the onside. Smashed away through extra cover for 4. That's a good-looking shot. Short and outside off stump.
Momentum in this innings. Stranger things have happened.
Bowled him. Inside edge. Excuse me, Nash Kenjige. Oh, sliced in the air and the simplest of wickets. Looking to go big. There's almost no celebration, no reaction. Beautifully. Scoop shot. That he attempted it once before. This time it goes off. It goes for 6. No, I don't think. Looking to force this one away. Thick inside edge takes it to deep fine leg. A long run for that fielder.
Oh!
And he cannot. These 2 batters. Advancing down the track, taking on the longest boundary and clearing it by some distance.
No.
Oh, into the stands. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Matchup also. Bowling the spinner to him. Goes for the big boundary. How far does that go?
He's got it all the way.
Head of Richard. Oh, what a strike. What an absolutely brutal strike for T20.
Oh.
It's going to get 4 for this. Didn't go anywhere near where he was looking to play it. Looking to play it through extra cover. Thick out.
That's the name of the game.
There's the big hit. That is out of the stadium.
Goodness.
That is out of the stadium. That does not help. That's going to be 5 wides. This is turning out to be a really expensive 117 runs on the board. Smashed for 4. Just bowled him. He comes back and takes the wicket. And Ali Sheikh kicking.
You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.
set things up, and then we'll just go over by over. So welcome back to Grand Prairie, where the battle between the two Dallas franchises sees the Dallas Mustangs about to resume, not necessarily resume their innings, but resume the match by starting their innings. Opening batters are Andreas Haus and Naman Anwar. And they have a relatively small target to chase. They're chasing down 124, but that target was made even much more, make it challenging with the work of Jaskaran Singh Buttar. When you usually hear about Jaskaran Singh, you hear about him with the ball. He's a good fast bowler, but he single-handedly with the bat put his team in a decent position to have some runs behind them to defend. So the two batters are out in the middle, Andreas Haus and Naman Anwar. And it appears that they're going to open the bowling with Sankirth Batula. Will be bowling to Naman Anwar. So a little bit of excitement still around. Once again, if you're anywhere close to Grand Prairie, Texas, and you're within the sound of our voices, come on down and enjoy what's going to be a pretty exciting finish to this match. There is absolutely no cost to get in. Not only can you watch some high-level cricket, but you can enjoy music. And by the way, there's also food being given out. And speaking of food, Mayurish and I are feverishly trying to finish this meal before the innings starts. So, I think we're waiting for a little bit of noise to stop at the moment. The musicians are probably not aware that they need to stop playing before the match starts. And so once that is relayed to them, I think they'll understand that they'll need to stop so we can get this game started. 1 second. So here we are, Sankirth Batula bowling to Naman Anwar. We're off and running. Good delivery off the outside edge, running down to deep third. That is Debir Singh Walia down at deep third, off and running the first run on the board for the Dallas Mustangs. Once again, a relatively small total to defend. As I mentioned earlier, I thought that it was going to be difficult to defend anything under 160. So from that standpoint, I think it's going to be hard for them, the Xforia Giants, to defend their total. But all you need is 10 good deliveries, and this match is finished. So I don't think that you'll see Andreas Haus or Naman Anwar take much chances. They're both naturally aggressive batters. Oh, look at that. A huge drive and a miss by Andreas Haus outside the line of off stump, looking to go downtown. The mid-on and mid-off are inside the circle, of course. You're still inside the power play overs. So you're certainly going to need to take advantage when the bowlers are having to bowl to that with field restrictions in place. Huge drive and a miss. That ball swinging away from Andreas Haus. Next delivery. Outside the line of off. Too far outside the line of off for the liking of umpire Vishnu Pillai. And so you're going to see, I think, from where we are now, an effort to be aggressive. What I mean by that is the Xforia Giants are not going to win this match by restricting the Dallas Mustangs to something like 119 for 6 or 119 for 7. You're going to have to bowl them out to win this match. So this is skied in the air. He may get away with this. Is over the top of point, running to the deep side or the big side of the field. So they'll jog through a couple. Long run there by Akhilesh Bodagam. And 2 runs on the board for Andreas Haus. Absolutely electric innings for him yesterday. 91 from, I think, 52 with 4 fours and 7 sixes. Had an absolutely brilliant innings. And he almost single-handedly dragged his team toward a gigantic total. And that total was enhanced in the end by a quick-fire 30-odd runs from Captain Hamad Azam, 30 of which came in 1 over off of the person we've been talking about all game, Jaskaran Singh Buttar. Different circumstances now, though. Naman Anwar back on strike. Ooh, half-hearted appeal for LBW. Not moved is umpire Vishnu Pillai.
You know, when you tell me that Buttar was hit for 5 sixes last night, I think today was a little bit of revenge, maybe? With that innings of 50 plus.
Yeah,
explains a lot of things to me now.
it makes sense now. So 2 delivers remaining here in over number 1. Once again, chasing 124. So you're going to have everything bang on target if you are the Xforia Giants. Appeal for LBW. Thinking about it is umpire Vishnu Pillai, but eventually deciding that that was missing, and so they run through for a leg by on top of that. So 5 runs already in the over. Don't have a whole lot of excitement happening yet. In other words, you expect that these 2 batters who are, again, naturally very aggressive will maybe take a little bit of time to get settled. You see her there on the replay. I think that's easily missing as well. So you expect them to get aggressive, maybe see off the initial burst by the opening bowlers. You know that they want to take wickets, and you just make sure that you withstand that initial burst. And so the 1 ball remaining here in over number 1. Sankit Batul has done well so far. 5 runs coming from the over already, but a number of those are leg bys. Here's the last delivery. Mauled away for 6. Look at this. Well, I mentioned that Andreas Haus is an absolutely aggressive batter, and this is one that sits up and begs to be whacked, and he absolutely engaged well over top of mid-wicket. Again, that's the shorter side of the boundary, only 62 yards, and that one ends the over. Brilliant shot. Look at this last shot, or the last ball of this over. Halfway down, he drags it down, and Andreas Haus jumps all over it. 6 to mid-wicket to close things out here in over number 1. At the end of 1, the score is 12 without loss.
Welcome back to Grand Prairie. We're going to let my friend Brian make inroads into his dinner here. And I'll give him a little breather here. Mayuresh talking from here on the second over. Andreas Kraus had an electrifying innings yesterday, 91. He scored a strike rate of 175, so we know he's going to go at it. A little bit of a delay because that first over ball got hit out of the park, was not retrieved right away. So we have to make sure that the replacement ball is exactly 1 over old and looks exactly like it did in the previous over. Also another interesting move here by Xforia Giants a little bit. They are a spin-heavy team. They have some world-class spinners, but they're looking to go start with a spinner in the power play with the second over. One of the reasons that could be is that there is dew settling. Brian and I took a walk during the middle of the innings break, and there's no doubt dew on the outfield. You have to run your hands over it. Your hand does get wet. So I'm wondering if they want to try and give the finger spinners best opportunity to go grip that ball before it gets even tougher to go grip it and give that ball a tweak. Prasad Prakash Patil getting ready to bowl. Left arm finger spinner. And there's a little bit of turn there. Fairly nippy through the air. Got Dhol Tasha been playing in the stadium here. Some music too. Trying to create that festive environment. Kids running around, which is always good to see at a cricket field. It's Numan Anwar taking on Patil, and he has cleared the straight boundary with ease. Numan Anwar had a solid knock of 43 yesterday, and he's not taking much time to go throw down the gauntlet. Didn't have to do much, cleared his foot and just hit through the line there, and good distance there. That's a straight boundary. So how is the strategy of going with a spin in the second over going to work out? Only two fielders out there to protect the boundary. One is at a deep mid wicket right now. The second one is at long off. Cracking cut there, but straight to the point cover fielder. This is the challenge for Patil. Obviously, the conditions for spin bowling is going to get more challenging as the overs go by. The ball will get wetter, but there's less protection right now for him. As Brian mentioned, Xforia Giants are going to have to take 10 wickets. This is not going to happen by squeezing the runs. That said, how are wickets going to come up front? Your seam bowlers have the best conditions. We'll wait for that conversation in a second here. Bit of a slog sweep. Didn't get all of it. Lands safely in the deep boundary area there for square leg. And 2 runs. Once again, there's a lot of safety in that shot because there are no fielders out there, even though he didn't make quick connection. Continue the conversation I was having about where the wicket's going to come from right now. With a hard new ball, you think the conditions are favoring the seam bowlers. And if they can make early inroads, it might create a bit of a scoreboard pressure when the spinners are on that may induce wickets later on. But with starting with spin, looking to create that false shot early on in the innings. Harmeet Singh feels that from a wide or, well, conventional covers place there. Fielding changed now. The slip is going out and going to a short third man. So once again, looking to get a wicket from a false shot. At this point, 8 off the over already. It's been a good over. And again, just picking up the ball off length. Easy runs there. Just has to clear the inner circle. Met the pitch of the ball and just hit through the line. And for someone like Numan Anwar, who's in good form, not a terribly challenging shot. Looks like the ball is not turning much. It's a fairly flat delivery. And just kind of clears the inner circle for 4 runs. End of the second over. 24 without loss. Mustangs are on their way.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Before without loss, the Dallas Mustangs need exactly another 100 runs. And ladies and gentlemen, the relay continues. If you've ever seen a relay race, this relay that I'm referring to is passing the baton back and forth between myself and Mayuresh because each of us is trying to desperately get through a meal. So the third over to be bowled in the innings, second by, in fact, this is Jaskaran Singh Buttar with the ball in hand. So they've gone immediately to their big fast bowler. Saw 1 over from Sankit Batula. Now going to Jaskaran Singh Buttar. Bowling to Andreas House. Oh, whipped away behind square for 4. A little too straight. Way too straight, in fact. And from that line, you're going to need to be much more. In fact, the line was too straight. You're going to want that ball to be more an off stump. Starting too straight down the leg, the right arm over angle, taking it down the leg side. And you don't need to help Andreas House score quickly because he is naturally a very aggressive batter. And in fact, that was a little too harsh. Looking at that replay, he actually dragged that from outside the line of off. My apologies. But still, a top shot by Andreas House and still motoring on toward what they think would think is a relatively easy victory. Outside edge found this time. Goes down to deep third. That is Akalish Bodogam down at the boundary. Andreas House now 13 from 4 balls, 4 balls faced with 1-4 and 1-6. Naman Anwar, same number of runs, faced a few more deliveries, 9 in all. And in fact, we can look at the overall batting for this team to see how each of these players features. Corey Anderson is the leader in the side, of course, not playing this weekend, not available. But number 2 right behind him is Andreas Haus. 349 runs on the season, 4 50s, high score of 91, which came in last night's match. 29 4s, 18 6s. He leads the side in 4s. In fact, why Corey Anderson is number 2 in that category is because he keeps hitting the ball for 6. Corey Anderson with 34 6s on the season. In fact, that 34 runs not only top of the table for his team, but top of the table for the entire league. They're bowling now to Naman Anwar. Short going down the leg side, and he misses out there, and he knows it. Any amount of bat on that, and again, this is the short side of the boundary, so any amount of bat is sailing in our direction. So in looking at where you are right now, you're looking for a way to sort of stem the tide. And you heard Mayoress say earlier that the way you take wickets is by building pressure. You build pressure by bowling a string of deliveries that are difficult to play. And Jaskaran Singh Buttar, I think, bowling a little too straight. This one, he tries the pull. Ball doesn't quite bounce as high as he was expecting it to, Naman Anwar. Both of these batters love the ball short, but missing out on that attempted pull. Didn't quite bounce the extent to which you thought it was going to. So with just 3 legal deliveries remaining here in over number 3, 30 runs already on the board. You're scoring at the rate of 12 runs and over if you are the Dallas Mustangs. The required rate is less than a run a ball, 5.37. So essentially, if you score in all singles, you'll win this game in the next with 11 balls to spare. So to the extent that you have to take wickets, you really do need to start looking to find ways where you can do something aggressive in the field to be able to take a wicket. Slower delivery, punched wide up mid-on, shy at the non-striker's end, but home safely is Naman Anwar. So now just 2 balls remaining over number 3. You're down to your last 104 balls, if that matters, but you only need 93 runs. So it becomes a pretty relatively easy chase from here. And the Dallas Mustangs would really have to go egregiously awful from this stage to be able to lose this game. And so Jaskaran Singh Buttar with work to do here. Did it with the bat, now he's trying to do it with the ball. Andreas Haus looking aggressively, wanted to hit that one down the ground. Not able to make contact, but that's just going to be a single, and that single, I think, denotes the last ball in over number 3. At the end of 3, the score is 32 without loss.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
Back here, working together. Thank you, Brian, for using an analogy that made me look like a sprinter. I don't think anyone's ever confused me at being fast at most things, but lucky for you, I am a fast eater. So, that job has been accomplished. We're back here. Speaking of speed, the Dallas Mustangs are racing away with this innings already, going at more than 10 and over, and it makes 2 points. First of all, there's nothing special about this wicket. It's a batter-friendly wicket. There's no reason for the Xforia Giants to have struggled as much. It also shows the difference in quality of the opening bowling between the two teams. We've had a few loose deliveries. We've had some more easy hits offered up with a spinner in the second over. So it was a tough job to begin with already. Both these batsmen are in solid form. Both scored runs yesterday. And they're going to need something special here from the Xforia Giants.
So Sanket Batula back into the attack, going to be bowling from the theater end. His first over, the first over of the innings came from the racecourse end. Switching around now, bowling to Andreas Gauss. Oh, he's knocked him over.
There we go.
Andreas looking aggressive, advancing down the track, looking to hit him out of the building. I'm not sure why that was what he wanted to do here. It's not like they're chasing 224 runs. 124 is a pretty easy chase, but Andreas, a rush of adrenaline and looking to charge down the wicket. And you miss, I hit stuff. First wicket goes down, 32 for 1 after 3.1.
Let's take a look at this delivery coming up on the replay here. Good length delivery, angling into the batsman. I think that hit the top of the stumps, the top of the bails there. Probably just not the length to hit that delivery. Grouse has been very good. He's had 2 very good scoring shots where he picked the length impressively early. This one's slightly fuller, and I don't think that shot was necessarily on at that length.
Wow. So Andreas, after scoring heavily yesterday, I think will be disappointed in that shot. Maybe less in the shot itself than the choice of shots. So a promotion in the order now. This is going to be
Mansab Gill.
Mansab Gill. Not played a whole lot this year, but to the extent that you're in the 11 and you're in the side to fill a role, I think the job here is pretty straightforward. Even with the fall of that wicket and that first delivery, certainly taking that wicket. And again, if you're the Dallas Xforia Giants, you have to take wickets. But even with the fall of that wicket, you're still scoring at the rate of 10.1 and over. And so the required rate is down at 5.47. So you can literally do it in singles from here. Just like that. So punches it to square leg, and they'll get an easy 2. So the job here is pretty simple, and in almost every way, you're batting without pressure here. So there's no reason to do anything risky if you're the Dallas Mustangs. And Mansab Gill immediately off the mark with that double.
Brian, tell us a little bit about Batula. Is he another one of the young up-and-coming bowlers?
Known him for a few years. I don't know that I'd call him young. I'd probably guess.
It's relative, Brian.
This is true. Well, yeah, for me, they're all young, but including you, by the way. But I'd say he's about 30 years old, somewhere around there. Plays local cricket here in Texas. And good to see that he's having the opportunity to shine on this stage. So in terms of exactly how well the team itself has done, in fact, after this delivery, we'll take a little bit of a look at how the bowling attack has been for the year. Down the leg side, and a little bit too wide for the liking of umpire Samir Bandekar. So, in fact, we'll get the information about the bowling in just a second. But just looking at him, just from observation, he's not lightning quick. He's not Jaskaran Singh Buttar quick, but his advantage is that he swings the ball and generally bowls a very good line and a very good length. So he's the type of bowler who you want to be able to throw the ball to and say, here, I need a couple of good overs. Good delivery, finds the outside edge, but it doesn't carry the first slip. That's a good ball. And again, that's what you can expect from Sanket Batula. He's going to find it on or about that line and length that will definitely get you threatening the outside edge, asking the right questions. That's why that slip fielder is in position. That's Chaitanya Bishnoi. And you're going to see, looking at this replay.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see. He's been moving the ball into the batsman to get the outside edge. I'm curious to see how that ball deviated. Looks like it's just hold this line there a little bit. And once again, that's the beauty of a delivery.
That's what you expect from him because he asks the right questions. He's not going to blow you away with pace, as I mentioned, but he will keep the ball on or around that off-stump line, and he's always going to be asking those questions.
He's made a bit of an adjustment. Last few deliveries, he was hitting more of a middle leg line. He's pulled that just a bit outside of off-stump, and now, like you said, asking a lot of questions. almost got the edge to carry to that fly slip.
So the last ball coming up now of over number 4. Oh, goes again past the outside edge, looking to force this off the back foot was Mansab Gill. Misses out. And a good over bowled here by Sankirth Batula. So that is the end of 4. The score is 35 for 1.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
All right, welcome back. Start of the 5th over of the power play. Just 2 more overs left in this power play with the field restrictions. Numan Anwar has had to watch the last over from the other end, but he's been going pretty strong at 14 of 12.
Jaskaran Singh Buttar in to start his 2nd over. Again, we've said it a couple of times. I think the fact that we are in a somewhat competitive match at this stage is essentially due entirely to Jaskaran Singh Buttar, because in that first innings when he batted with purpose and showed ability that his colleagues at the top of the order wish they had shown. And I think the fact that you're now looking at a target of 124 as opposed to something like 74 is almost entirely due to Jaskaran.
He has to defend the short boundary on the leg side. He's got a fine leg, and I can't quite find the second fielder right now. That third man. Oh,
that gets through Ramiz Raj. In fact, that's Ankit Khera. And I think you'll see evidence of the fact that there's dew on the ground, because number 1, it got through the grasp of Ankit Khera, and then number 2, you saw him struggling to regain his footing to get up and chase after that ball. So the conditions are actually very slippery. Well, you and I just went out there before, in between innings, and it was already starting to form. And then on top of that, it's gotten even more damp since the innings, or since the time that you and I were both out there. And now you see the slip fielder Chaitanya Bishnoi got a towel from, it was retrieved from, I think, Akhilesh Bodagam. The fact that you'll see them drying the ball, after every delivery. This is played down. In fact, it's going to be, a no ball. Missed it live.
Oh, dear.
No ball, overstepping with Jaskaran Singh Buttar. And they run a leg by, but it's going to be a free hit. That's the bigger story there.
Just not able to maintain that pressure that we need to get wickets.
Yeah, look here. There. Hard to tell from that angle, but obviously umpire Vishnu Pillai is right in the right direction to be able to make, or in the right position to be able to make that call. So unfortunately, for a team that is struggling to build pressure, as Mayuresh mentioned, they're going to have to now receive or be able to bowl a delivery that you're not going to be able to get the batter out off of. Of course, the number of ways that you can get a batter out off a no ball or off a free hit would include all the types of dismissal that doesn't go to the bowler. In other words, the bowler doesn't get credit for. So you can be run out off of a free hit. You can be out obstructing the field or handle the ball.
Someone's been reading up on rule books recently. Obstructing the field.
I'm not just a pretty face, you know, actually.
I thought you'd stop at run out and stumping, but obstructing the field. I was impressed, Brian.
Here is the free hit delivery. And it's just lobbed back to the ball. In fact, I think that might have been a bump ball. It wouldn't have mattered either way, because, again, you can't be out off of those types of deliveries with a free hit. But anyway, so a little bit of excitement. 39 is the overall score. You're only looking for another 85 to go. And once again, getting to the stage where you have to attempt to build pressure, and it's not exactly happening. Shorten at the body. It's Ankit Khera fielding that ball at square leg. Now the dot ball.
Yeah, and they continue to kind of challenge the middle and leg stump here. And Buttar needs to follow a little bit of the script from Sankit Batula and get that off stump and outside off stump line going.
Well, it's a pretty simple script. Find the ball on the off-stump line or just a shade outside the line of off, short of driving length. Do that for a few overs. Then every once in a while, you might mix in a slower delivery or a short ball, but you have to be able to build that pressure.
Yeah.
Looking to play this down the leg side, I think that's more an optimistic appeal than anything else. Even when you see the bowler appeal with both arms pointed upward, that just feels like extra drama. I don't think you're realistically expecting that to be given out.
I think Buttar needs to be thankful that it wasn't hit for 6 runs because it was on his pads going down the leg, to be honest, full. So he got away with this one. Let's be honest. Look at the wicketkeeper. He's yelling and appealing, standing down the leg slip. So, gentlemen, if you want to sell it, a little bit more effort there.
Last ball of over number 5. In the air, wide of mid-on.
Continue hit that middle and leg line, which, again, confounds me a little bit.
Yeah.
But that it is. End of Buttar's second over. End of 5 overs, 40 for 1. Back in the break.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back to the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship here. Beautiful Saturday evening in Texas. Thank you to our sponsors, Sunoco and Lakshmi. We're in the second innings here with the Mustangs, Dallas Mustangs, knocking off these runs with fair ease. Not much challenge right now. The Xforia Giants really haven't been able to go build a consistent line length pressure on the batsman here. Buttar is going to continue. He did get success in the previous over, getting Ghost out. Lofted shot.
Down the ground is going to go bounce a couple of times and goes for 4 over long on. So that's the first bit of aggression shown by Mansab Gill. Has been at the wicket for a while. 3 from 9 before that ball. Now goes up to 7 from 10. So you get the sense that he was promoted in that position. Here is he on the replay, just lofting it over wide of long on and goes away for 4. You get the sense that he was promoted to essentially be able to throw him in at the shallow end. Hasn't played a whole lot and sort of put him in the position where he can sort of start to get his feet under him.
Small little conference there between Captain Harmeet Singh and the bowler. You know, you have to bowl to your field, and it's even harder when you have fielding restrictions. They just have to get this line right.
Lovely looking drive that time. It sounded good coming off the bat. No runs for it, but this will build in confidence. And talking about the conference between Harmeet and his bowler, what do you think? What would be said at this stage? What do you say to your strike bowler at this stage?
Stop bowling on pads. I've got fielders on the offside. Bring them in play.
Straight drive. This is Akhilesh Bodogam. Takes a shot at the stumps. Good pick up and throw, but easily home was Mansab Gill.
Yeah, good single there. You know, it was straight to the fielder, but there was a quick run, quick call, and that's a high quality single.
So you're not building any pressure. You're not. Well, you've taken 1 wicket. You could probably argue that Andreas Haus was sort of in the mood to give a wicket.
He had a
like
license.
Dancing down
he had
the
a
wicket.
license.
He certainly felt like he had the license. And he ended up missing a ball that moved back in off the seam to take leg stump. But apart from that, there has not really been any pressure built. And you get the sense right now the required rate, 5.45. You get the sense that they really do need something to happen. Players off the back foot into the covers. Yet another dot ball that will not bother them one bit.
And every delivery outside that off-stump line has been a dot ball. Everything on pads has been hit around. So
you're suggesting there is a correlation there?
It's not rocket science, right? It's easy for us to talk about it here, speaking behind a mic.
Sure.
But It's just they haven't hit enough balls in the right area, and that's the difference between the two teams.
So 2 balls remaining here in this over. Goes
Wow,
fishing.
there we
That's
go.
a good ball. That is exactly where you want to be.
That is a high-quality delivery, and when you see that he's got this talent, he's got this ability, you just want to try and string 4 or 5 deliveries like that in a row. He's walking down, trying to build, attack the bowler. He gets the length perfect. Length to get perfect, and lets the wicket do the rest. That's at that point you just need a little luck to get some edge. Can he finish out the over, close out the power play?
Up on his toes, defending this one into the leg side. They'll jog through for a single, but a good over bowled by Sanketh Batula. 6 runs coming from it. But in the context of this game, the fact that there are no wickets that fell means that you're that much closer to a loss if you're the Dallas Xforia Giants. 46 for 1 after 6.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
Well, welcome back. End of the power play. So we'll have a little more spread out field. We'll also have a bowling change with Udaybir Singh coming into bowl. Oh, Udaybir Walia, sorry. Taking the ball. Saw him bowl doing the warm-ups, and he looks like a strong lad who can hit a good length, good pace. Actually, I'm surprised that Giants haven't gone to their ace spinners now that this field can be spread out.
The argument against going to the spinners, and they'll eventually go to the spinners. They don't have enough pace bowlers in the attack. The argument against going to the spinners is that with it being as wet as it is, it's difficult to grip the ball, and if you're not able to tweak it as a spinner, essentially you're just giving hitting practice. And so without the ability to get much turn, you're going to have to sort of try to find some ways of being able to manufacture building pressure. Udaybir Singh Walia is a good bowler. First ball played down the leg side. Back to your point, ball on the pads is always going to result in runs.
Yeah, like I said, even you and I could knock that around for a single, right? Off the pads. Wicketkeeper standing up, interestingly.
Smith Patel does that a lot to Udaybir Singh Walia. So he's a pace bowler, but he's not as quick as, for example, either Sanketh Batula or certainly not as quick as Jaskaran Singh Buttar. But he's a type of bowler who can bowl plays a containing role. So you can build pressure with this type of bowler. The issue there is going to be where you're going to get the wickets from. And just singles.
Quick single. Was that a run out?
Nope, not going to be a run out. In fact, looking at it live, I think the wicket was broken by Smith Patel's glove without the ball in it. Yeah, so I think a good decision there given by umpire Samir Bandekar. I want to see that replay again. Look at the keeper.
It's a quick call.
This will give us a good look. Actually, he may have collected that in time and done well. But either way, I think the batter is across the line. This will give us a good look here as well. I'll tell you what, the coaches will tell him, you need to slide that bat in. Talk about that in a minute, because there was, I want to see that again if we could, because he didn't slide the bat going across the line. He actually just put the bat down as opposed to sliding it across, and that very almost resulted in his being run out.
It wasn't a true extension, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
that is taking a risk that you don't need to take, young man. But either way, down the leg side, that's going to be 4. Did it come off the bat? Nope, did not come off the bat. So it's 5 wides. Oh my goodness, this is going to be something to look at, because You're giving away free runs. They're now
So
up above 50.
I want to, the wide is not something we want to do a replay on, but let's look at this run out attempt again. Here's what I like about it, what I want to draw out, because we have lots of young kids, is the striker giving the call, not the non-striker, where it should be the non-striker calling for that run, ideally. So if you're watching at home, you got kids watching, Anwar should have been calling for that run to begin with, and he would not have been so tight.
That is an excellent observation. The other thing I noticed also is that the keeper, Smith Patel, didn't actually collect the ball. So it was one motion where he tried to take his glove, catch, and then break the stumps. That didn't happen in the sequence that he wanted it to. So for all those reasons, it was not an effective run out.
Everybody thinks they're Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
So last ball coming up now in over. In fact, two balls remaining in over number 7. That one defended in front of the stumps for no run. So a lot of activity in this over, but ultimately it's gotten to the point where you're not. The consistent theme is that there's no pressure being built.
No pressure. 5 wides.
And the last ball is just defended for no run. 8 runs coming from the over. 54 for 1. 70 runs needed from the next 78 balls. And the Dallas Mustangs are in cruise control. We'll be right back.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
Welcome back to Grand Prairie Stadium. Beautiful evening in Texas. Nice, vibrant atmosphere. Kids running around playing. There's been some free food, some cricket bat giveaways. It was really set up very nicely for a wonderful environment. Unfortunately, the game hasn't been as balanced as we would like it to be. But the Dallas Xforia Giants captain has brought himself on, Harmeet Singh, fantastic bowler. Quality spin bowler. Let's see if he can overcome the dew, the scoreboard, and the batsman to create a little bit of magic for his team.
Harmeet Singh bowling around the wicket. Ooh, a little bit of turn there, it looks like. All of a sudden, Mansab Gill looking very curiously at the wicket. Of course, you will remember that Harmeet Singh was the #1 pick in the Major League Cricket draft that took place in March of this year. About 300 or so miles from here in Clear Lake, Texas. Played off the back foot this time, so a couple of dot balls to start. We talked about whether or not the spinners were going to find any success, and for the reasons that we mentioned earlier, it's going to be difficult for the spinners to bowl. But based on these first couple of deliveries from Harmeet Singh, he's actually done very well. This is swept away down the leg side and goes away for 4. So the commentator's curse strikes again.
That was all on you, Brian. That was all on you. Don't rope me into this. Going down the leg, easy sweep shot. I couldn't quite tell what was going on with the fielder there. I thought he had covered, but maybe the slide wasn't quite timed in. If I look at the outfield, in terms of protection, Harmeet's got a cover sweeper. Here comes, I think, the replay of that previous delivery. See what happened with the fielder. He looked like he was covering it, slid, and then just didn't quite get to it. Over continues. Call for 2. And they should be able to get back well. Good aggressive running there. Good aggressive running by Mansab Gill.
You like to see that aggressive running because you're into the 8th over. You have... And look at the conditions that we're referring to with the dew. Look at each step that the fielders take. You see the dew. That visual representation of what we're talking about is very helpful because it is very, very wet. In fact, at the top of the over or at the before the next ball is bowled, look at the track there. The top of your screen, look behind the keeper. Those are the footsteps from the bowler running in from the other direction. So every time you step on this ground, it shows you exactly how thick and how wet the dew is.
And it can work both ways. You can slow the ball down over the outfield, but it just makes it so difficult for bowlers to grip the ball and control
makes it difficult for the fielders as well.
Oh, yes.
That is the end of the over. It finished. A maximum of 12 left, you would think, but I don't think it will go that far. 61 for 1.
Welcome back. Start of the 9th over. And it's a bit of a easy progression here for the Dallas Mustangs. They're just knocking off the runs. Some good batting, some running, and some assistance from the bowlers, straying a couple of times with their line. Probably a double bowling change. I would be not surprised if it's Chaitanya Bishnoi, who is the spin twin, who works in tandem with Hermeet, again, quality spinner. And to be honest, I think it's going to be these two guys who are going to have to go find a way to pull their team into it, either by way of wickets or that required runner of 5.25. Try to nudge it up to the 6s and 7s and 8s, slowly but surely. Wickets are going to be key. In general, I found the finger spinners in this league tend to bowl flatter. I have seen Chaitanya every now and then give it a little air. We'll see if he can, again, entice a fall shot. Outfield, long off, long on, cow corner, backward square leg, and a point sweeper.
Played down to deep mid-wicket. That ball was short enough that I thought for a split second that that Nauman Anwar might consider imitating Andreas Carlson, going back onto the back foot and playing that one over mid-wicket into the seats. Chose not to. Batting with caution and just picking up that single. That single, by the way, gets you to the exact halfway point in the stage, or in the chase. 62 runs on the board and another 62 to get.
Yeah. Apologies, the bowler is actually Prasad Prakash Patil.
Oh, apologies.
In his second over, so not Chaitanya Bishnoi yet.
So that short ball going down the leg side is helped around the corner for another single. So you've picked up singles. The required rate, again, of 5.23 means that you can do this in just singles. It's highly unlikely that they will, but in theory, they could just hit singles and win this match.
No slip, which also surprises me a little bit. Might be worth.
Say more about that, because I think that certainly deserves mention. You have to take wickets, so you have to have. You think that you'd have fielders in wicket-taking positions.
Yeah, I mean, slip is two purposes. I mean, we have a left-arm finger spinner, so they're always bringing the outside edge of the bat in play. Ball spinning away, even if it's not much spin. Secondly, I mean, as a batsman, you know that slip fielder is there. It makes a difference. You change your shot selection, and that late cut, that forward push, just plants a seed of doubt right there.
By the way, if you could be so kind as to tell our viewers what the lotto numbers are going to be for next week, it'd be very helpful. Thank you very much. But I absolutely agree with you. You're not going to restrict them. You have to take wickets. That's the only way that you're going to win this game. And so if to the extent that you can find a way of being able to manufacture a wicket, the only way to do it is going to be by putting those fielders in attacking positions. And look, if you have an edge and it flies through that vacant slip area, then that sort of epitomizes what we're talking about. played off the back foot, and this all becomes just very, very easy at this stage. Once again, you can do it in singles if you choose to, and you're just not absolutely building any pressure at all in those ways. 65 for 1 after 9.
Welcome back. Start of the 10th over. The run chase continuing pretty casually right now for the Mustangs. Just saw the owner walk around. For a team that's well ahead, he still has a little nervous pace. Walk around going on here. But I'm sure there's a lot of confidence. There's a bit of a partnership here now after the early wicket.
So going to be Akhilesh Bodagam taking up the attack from the theater end. Tall finger spinner. Bowling now to Mansab Gill. Wide outside off stump. And the theme of not building pressure continues. The scoring rate from here only needs to be 5.27. And you're really not building any pressure whatsoever. Better delivery, but it's played wide of extra cover. Out on the boundaries, Chaitanya Bishnoi. And well fielded. So run through for a single.
Brian, how would you describe Akhilesh Bodagam? I'm trying to go understand, is he like a finger flicker, mystery spinner?
He's not a mystery spinner. Any amount of turn that there is would be into the righties, but his advantage is that he gets a lot of bounce with his height, and he generally doesn't toss the ball up. He pushes it through, and so he tends to be relatively difficult to score off of, like that type of a delivery. And so that one was too full to show the bounce that he can get, but he can be very dangerous under most circumstances. And of course, you're bringing him into bowl from the theater end, which means you're asking any big shots to go towards the longer side of the ground. So keep an eye on that at some point to see if that was going to happen. He was aiming in that direction, Naman Anwar, but ended up just getting a thick inside edge. But he can be difficult to score off of. Under the circumstances, the left-handed spinners, I think, are more threatening. If there's any turn, it will be away from them. But also, if you have him in the side as a bowler, you have to use him. And, of course, he's a smart enough bowler that he can be able to be a resource, even though if he's turning the ball into them. Just slap down the ground. Ramiz Raja will have the first piece of work to do in the outfield. In fact, that might be the first time we've called Ramiz Raja's name in a really long time.
Not since he was out.
Yeah. And he probably wouldn't like being reminded of that.
Well, coming to the end of the over, 2 balls to go.
There's the big hit that we're looking for, but there's a man out there who sails over his head. So eventually, you got the sense that he was going to ask him to hit in that direction, and he eventually did. It took the carrot, but it went all the way for 6.
Well, let's give credit to Noman Anwar here, because he took on the longest boundary and he pulled it off, because this was not quite a short delivery. He just timed it really well, took on that long boundary. So well done to him.
I'll tell you what, it's the type of delivery that you want to bowl when you have a fielder in that position on that side of the field. So nothing wrong at all with the delivery. We talked about ways of being able to manufacture a wicket. That's actually one of them. In the air again, same direction. Is it the same result? It is caught.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. What a catch by Ramiz Raja. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to get him to hit to the longest part of the ground. The first one was a 6. This next one results in a brilliant sliding catch by Ramiz Raja. 75 for 2.
There's so many things going on here. First of all, good to call out Ramiz Raja's name again in the same over in both positive ways. You know, Anwar took him on the first time, got success, took him on a second time, no success this time. And well done to the bowler, Akhilesh. He stuck to his guns, right?
Yes.
He had a plan, stuck to his plan, and says, you know what? If you're going to hit me for a 6 and you do it well, credit to you. This was slightly away from him, took the edge, the bottom half of the bat, didn't get all of it, and that was a quality catch. Going around the corner, wet outfield, wet ball, almost slid into the ropes. Well done, Ramesh Raja. End of the over, 10 overs up, 75 for 2.
Once again, here at Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium, this is the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship 2023. Lakshmi is the official partner of Minor League Cricket. Brew is Minor League Cricket's Cricket for the Community partner, and Dolphin Media, MLC's outdoor partner. Also, thank you to Daffin News and, of course, Sunoco. Harmeet Singh continuing, taking up the attack. Short ball is pounced on and pulled into the deep, but that's just going to be a single. By the way, the new batter is now Sujit Gowda. Played a good innings yesterday as well, but not going to be asked to do the same thing that he did last night. Right now, the job is just to make sure you stick around and get those ones and twos. You get a bad ball, put it away, but a much different assignment than yesterday.
Interesting here, not just keeping one spinner at one end. Harmeet has brought himself on and off. Looks like he's changed ends. And he's taken on maybe the senior role. Said, I'm going to go bowl with defending the shorter boundary, taking on that responsibility as a captain.
You mentioned taking the responsibility to bowl to defend the short boundary. That means that you expect to see him with a line outside the line of off stump. Everything would be out there. Anything going down the leg side from here, oh, what a great delivery. Anything going down the leg side is going to be an opportunity for easy runs. And that type of delivery, to your point, is why you need a slip.
That was a beautiful delivery. He's bowling from wide of the crease. And when you consider that and how much that ball turned, that's a quality spin delivery.
This one pushes through a little bit more, though, and not able to get anything on it, Sujit Gowda.
Oh, how I wish they put a spin in right now, a slip in right now.
You sound like you're taking it personally. And another dot ball.
Then you got a new batsman, 0 of 4. All right? Let him see the fielder there. Let him feel a little pressure.
I could not agree with you anymore. Only 48 more runs needed from 55 balls. Going back in his crease and defending. So 5 dot balls to close this over out. 1 run coming from the over. A good one in the context of being able to restrict the scoring, but you need wickets if you're the Dallas Xforia Giants. 76 for 2.
Welcome back. Start of the 12th over. So we're progressing through the overs fairly rapidly when you have spinners in play. Things move along pretty fast. Let's see if Akhilesh Bordigam can conjure some more magic, bring another wicket into play. Slightly dragged down, pulled safely into that deep cup mid-wicket area for 2 runs. This is a comparison of the charts, how the 2 innings have progressed. We'll get back to it. Obviously, our timing and the graphic timing is not as good as some of the batsman timing here. We'll get it right eventually.
So, Akhilesh Bordigam again. Driven in the air and
That's
gone.
wonderful.
Straight to Harmeet Singh at extra cover. And Akhilesh Bordigam has now taken 2 wickets in the last 8 balls that he's bowled. So does this represent another turn? Huge wicket there because Manzab Gill was very comfortable. Had been there for a while, struck it firmly but directly to Harmeet Singh, who took that good, sharp, low catch. 76 now, or 78 now for 3.
This is just a good bit of bowling. Entice the batsman into driving the ball. Never got to it, and just a good, solid catch over there by Harmeet. Look at the joy. Look at the excitement. I know what this means. There's just slight opening in the door for them to maybe bust themselves back into this game.
And bearing in mind, again, the fact that the outfield is so wet, the ball is wet, and so every one of these catches takes on added significance. And look at this. Ali Sheikh has been promoted up the order. He's now coming into bat. He usually bats a lot lower than this. But they've brought him in, and I'm wondering if it's because with the bevy of left-arm spinners who are around, that you've brought a lefty hitter in to sort of counteract all the left-handed spinners.
Mm-hmm. And 2 good catches. We've seen one from Ramiz Raja on the boundary, running and sliding, and even the one from Harmeet looks simple on TV.
Oh, it's not
straight to him,
all.
but it's hit flat and hard with a wet delivery, wet ball. A little bit of flight here. I like it, you know, and that's what was going to be Akhilesh Buttar. A little bit of flight, and that just threw off the batsman just a little bit. Didn't quite get to the pitch of the delivery. And Brian, I believe we have a slip now.
Is that a slip I see?
It's a slip.
Confident looking drive down the ground though for Ali Sheikh.
Yeah. 2 new batsmen, so definitely this is the time the Dallas Xforia Giants have to get this right. They've got 2 batsmen. Don't let them get off strike very easily. Build a little pressure up, and maybe entice a few more false shots. Not quite back in the game. 79 for 3, just needing 5.4 runs in over. But 2 follows 1. You never know. If they can pick up, if that becomes 80 for 5, then the equation becomes very, very interesting.
So bowling now to Sujit Gowda. Oh, late cut. When's the last time you saw a late cut played? But again, to the point. The reason why Sujit Gowda is able to play a late cut is because there's no slip fielder in position. And it's curious to me that that's not one of the things that you look at doing here. You're only, at this point, defending another 44 runs. And we'll see, intentionally playing it. Go ahead.
And, you know, they've got the split, I keep saying spin, the slip for the left-hander because they think Akhilesh is going to turn the ball away from the left-hander. But it's that shot, that late cut shot is what will entice the edge. And you put a slip even for the right-hander, you'll bring that shot out of the equation.
Good looking stroke by Ali Sheikh, but Ramiz Raja in position at long off to make sure that only 1 run scores. So 5 coming from the over and a wicket. Another good over by Akhilesh Buttar. The score is
a wicket and an edge.
Wicket and an edge. Score after 12 is 81 for 3.
All right, a little strategic conference there between Harmeet and help me out here, Brian, with the new bowler looks like it. Advait?
That is Prakash Patil.
Oh, my apologies. And there's the graphics chart, and let me see if I can cover it correctly. The 2 worms, the Dallas Xforia, looks like a hockey stick that doesn't really start going hockey until the very end. And then you have the Dallas Mustangs, who you're steady Eddie. I wish my portfolio looked like that. But they are making good progress. They're knocking off the runs. They've just had 2 wickets fall. Let's see if that line flattens out at all.
So you need another 43 runs from the next 48 balls. 7 wickets in hand. Prakash Patil back into the attack now. Ali Sheikh played away into the offside for a single.
Can you think of any reason why they have not brought Chaitanya Bishnoi into the attack yet, or he's still maybe a part-time?
He's not part-time. He's more than part-time. He's a genuine option with spin. I would rank him right there with Harmeet Singh and Prakash Patil. Potentially because of the fact, number one, that Akhilesh Bodagam has done well so far. And then also with the fact that they've already, the apple cart has been upset with the left arm or left-handed batter Ali Sheikh coming in. That maybe you save him back for if Ali Sheikh gets out, then you have the righties come after that. Then you have not gone through all of your left-arm spin options. So potentially that would be it, but there is no real obvious reason why. Off the back foot now, this is Ramiz Raja down at long on. Ramiz Raja has made that long on position his own. He's literally going from long on to long on. I don't know if he's wearing a step counter, but he'll end up with about 20,000 steps after today's game.
And maybe he has to make up for the runs he hasn't scored.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I'm
being rough on this gentleman right now.
So you'll be a marked man the next time you come to the stadium. I can guarantee you that. So Ali Sheikh knows that he has an important role to play. And batting, I think, so far with purpose and with confidence. You're going to want to make sure that you stay there all the way. Again, you're not chasing a big total, but you also don't want to do anything rash. And this is going to be part of preparing for the games later on in the playoffs that get much more serious and carry more significance than this one. Working it into the leg side. Do they come back for two? He does come back for two. Ali Sheikh is very quick, and he gets there easily.
The reason I bring up the Bishnoi conversation again is at this point he's not going to get his 4 overs in, either because there's just not enough overs left in the innings, or the likelihood is that the game will not last 20 overs. So if he is one of your mainline, frontline spin bowlers, just surprised that he hasn't had an over yet in this situation at this point. But we may be proven wrong. Harmeet Singh may be getting a combination right. We'll see. Right now, Patil on the expensive side here so far.
Well, the last delivery of over number 13 is about to be bowled. 43 balls remaining, 39 runs needed. Worked around the leg side. He may want 2 more here, Ali Sheikh, and here he comes.
Wow.
Strong throw, direct hit. Not out. My goodness, that's a good throw from the deep. Direct hit from about 80 yards away. That's not easy. And
that was.
See the zing bail still flashing.
Well done by the batsman pushing for 2 runs, right? In the situation, it would be excuse for just going for an easy one. But from the get-go, they went for 2 runs. And then the throw, pick up, quick throw, directly on stumps. And
wow,
I think
the middle stump, no less. That's a great piece of fielding by Chaitanya Bishnoi. See that again. Working it around the corner.
And he knew Dave from the beginning he was going to go for 2. That's good cricket. Let's see how close this looks. Coming in.
Oh my goodness! Could that be?
Is this bad
closer?
in the air, or
no,
is it dragging?
He slid it across.
I'm looking for the line of dew behind it.
What are you, police investigator? 87 for 3 after 13.
All right, start of the 14th over.
Oh.
And down the track, lifts it. That's going to be all the way for 6 runs. Gowda walking down the wicket. Beautifully done, Sujit Gowda. He timed his shot perfectly. We'll watch the replay in a second, but just a well-balanced shot. Akhilesh, tall young man, gave a little air, came down the wicket beautifully, got to the pitch of it, and just cleared the arms, cleared the boundary line. 6 runs.
That's a very aggressive start to the over, and once you do that, all of the pressure goes back onto the bowler. So Akhilesh Buttar knows now that you don't have very many runs to play with, only 31 more runs needed for victory, and you've just been taken downtown by Sujit Gowda. So that's a good way to put the pressure on the bowler. And again, in the context of this game, probably doesn't make a very big difference, but that's maybe a lesson for a future game. Off the back foot, tries to work it around the corner. And no contact made.
And you know, the 2 shots example, you'd be wondering, hey, why did he have to go for that big 6? There's no scoreboard pressure. But new batsman not just keeping the intensity high. You saw it in the previous over, going for those 2 runs, going for an aggressive shot, just shows the mindset that the Mustangs are batting with and playing with. I think that's the difference in the 2 teams today.
I would certainly agree with that. That's pulled into the outfield to the large side of the field for a single. So mindset, I think, has a big part to play. And essentially, you're not just playing for this game. You're playing to set yourself up for the remainder of the series or remainder of the tournament going into the playoffs, starting in Prairie View next, not this coming week, but the following week. And so a lot to play for. So this, in some ways, can be sort of a practice match. Played into the offside. Do they want to? He has a lot of speed, Ali Sheikh. And in fact, now with the overthrow, now he won't take the second run. With the overthrow, potentially could have gone for it, but chose not to.
I think he knew it may have come off his body or off his bat as part of the throw-in. So still a gentleman's game.
Still a gentleman's game. Now, in modern cricket, people do run for that. So you think modern cricket sometimes has lost some of what you and I as old guys loved when we played. Last ball here. Oh. Not happy with something, Akhilesh Buttar. So pulls out of the delivery. But 1 ball remaining, 95 runs already on the board. So you only need another 29 from here with 37 balls to go. Slapping this in the deep. It's going to be Ramiz Raja again, who has had so much work to do, but cleans up well. Just a single to close things out here in over number 14. Last 6 coming up, 96 for 3.
All right. Welcome back. Start of the 15th over. Looks like Harmeet Singh is going to take the ball himself. At this point, 28 runs to win should be a walk in the park. I do like how the Mustangs are not treating it as such, staying aggressive as if they're chasing 140, 150, play with that mindset, and not really letting the Giants get into this match at all. They were 2 wickets fell there. We had 2 new batsmen. You wouldn't think it now with Akhilesh Sheikh on 8 of 8 and Gowda off 10 of 13. You would not have thought there were 2 early batsmen in their innings here. They played very positively.
Short and spanked away through mid-wicket, diving stop down there on the boundary. That is excellent work. Good work down there. That is Chaitanya Bishnoi. And he saves 2 runs there, I think.
Still hasn't had a ball yet.
And in fact, he saves 3 runs because they only took a single on that. So that's a good start to the over for the Xforia Giants. Ali Sheikh now on strike. Ali Sheikh 8 from 8. So essentially pushing the ball around for singles. No need to do anything more than that. Doing the same thing here. Now 9 from 9. He and Sujit Gowda put together a decent relationship, a decent partnership. So there was a bit of a wobble with a couple of wickets. Akhilesh Buttar taking those 2 wickets. But it has to be said that the ship has been settled for the most part, steadied rather. Slapped in the same direction, but this is an easier one for Chaitanya Bishnoi.
Not much to play with here for Harmeet Singh. not many runs to defend. I think they're just kind of going through the motions at this point.
Well, the conversation about the slip fielder and all of that, that's all a moot issue now because, again, you're only 25 runs away from victory. And this all of a sudden has taken on the feel of a net session. Not a whole lot happening. Toss this one up, and Ali Sheikh is going to be able to get a single.
He wants to, always.
Yes. Well, he also has to remember that not everybody is as young and athletic as he is.
It's been fun to watch the small, short innings that he's had, just coming with a lot of energy. And it's just good to see every batsman looking at everyone as aggressively looking to make it a 2. Again, little kids watching at home, that's the way to approach your batting.
Working it into the leg side again. Chaitanya Bishnoi once again with some work to do in the deep. So that's a single. 5 runs coming from the over. Over number 15 is done. 101 for 3 is the score. You need another 23 runs for victory. We'll be right back.
Well, this game is drawing to its conclusion. I think it's a matter of how quickly Sujit Gowda and Ali Sheikh decide to go press the accelerator here and close the game out here, because very few options left for Harmeet Singh. Definitely can rotate through his bowlers, but 23 runs is just not enough to defend with 5 overs to go.
And with 7 wickets in hand.
7 wickets in hand. And we have to give credit to Sujit Gowda and Ali Sheikh, who came in both sort of started off after back-to-back wickets. They've looked very impressive there at the crease. Aggressive running, some smart hitting, and overall finding the gaps and working the ball into gaps, not letting the bowlers dictate terms at all, even though they came in at a point where there was a slight opening there for the Giants.
I would agree with that. So Akhilesh Bodagam now bowling his last over. Bowled well. 3 overs, 2 for 24. Sujit Gowda takes him on again to the longest part of the field, but a catch. Oh, he put him down. Had it covered. Everything you would think was under control, and he did everything but hold on to it. So that is Udaybir Singh Walia, who will not want to go back home and watch that on TV. He puts down a wicket, and Akhilesh is denied his 3rd wicket.
He was right there underneath it, and it looks pretty steady. For a second, I thought like he was popping the ball up intentionally. Maybe we can get a look at that. But it's very interesting to see the ball pop up and out of his hands, maybe with a ball you think it slipped through. So good to see what happened there. But unfortunately, we would need something special like that to go turn this game.
See, some of that comes down to how slippery the ball is. I know for a fact that that's a factor. But at this level, you expect anyone who's on the field to be able to take that catch. And I'm sure he'll tell you that the dew is not the reason why he dropped it. Ali Sheikh punching that one down the ground for a single. So to the extent that you have the ability to just win this in singles, as we take another look at the drop.
Again, taking on the long boundary. Just was on the move a little bit.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate for him.
Yep.
Oh, this one is in the area. That's may land in safe territory. Look at that long run. Oh my goodness. Ramiz Raja did get to this one. I didn't think he'd get anywhere close to it, but he did get there. And having gotten there, I think he will tell you he should have taken that one. This has actually ended up being an easier catch than the one that he took earlier on. Sliding catch on the boundary. This one, And it took a very similar catch to this one last night. That one he held on to. This one he puts down.
Boy, we both thought that was going to be no man's land. It's safe. And he made a catch out of this with the speed at which Ramiz ran in. Unfortunately, we do see the effects of the dew. I mean, we do expect catches to be taken, but these are tough fielding conditions right now.
No question. So the last ball of his spell, Akhilesh Bodagam is played into the outfield. Come back for 2. You see that aggressive running there again. So a good closeout to the over. An over that 2 different occasions could have produced another wicket for Akhilesh Bodagam. So he'll be disheartened by that. In the end, it's just the 106 for 3, another 18 runs needed from the last 4 overs. We'll be right back.
All right, this game is winding down to a conclusion. 18 needed of 4 overs. Gowda and Sheikh very maturely guiding this team to the finish line. And unfortunately, the conditions are challenging for the fielders. It is wet out there. At this point, it's a matter of these open gaps and tapping the run and working the ball for 1s and 2s, which they have done very well. And every so often they take on the spinners, try to take the aerial route. So far, they've been mostly successful.
Harmeet Singh now back into the attack to bowl his last over. So far, 3.1 overs, none for 14. And bowling 2, now the lefty, Ali Sheikh. At some point, in fact, I wouldn't even say that. It's interesting to me that Ali Sheikh has sort of put away his aggressive game, his naturally aggressive game, as he plays this one square of the wicket. His naturally aggressive game to play a different role. And to the extent that he can shift his game as the situation demands, I think that speaks highly of him as a cricketer.
Yes, both have been very mature innings from both players. And they've found gaps all around. They haven't just resorted to 1 or 2 shots. They're showing a lot of range here as batsmen.
So just another 16 runs to go. Bowled him, looking to... Commentator's curse strikes again.
This
So
one's
just
on me.
Yeah, that one is on you. Looking to pull that one to mid-wicket. It didn't bounce nearly as high as he was expecting it to.
Did I say mature and responsible?
You
Did I use words of that
literally
nature?
just said a mature and responsible innings.
And, and then let me take everyone through this one then, because I think I own this one. Swiping across the line of this crease, and that ball hit halfway up the stumps. So perhaps he misread the ball as being a little bit shorter. Thought it was there for the pull. It just slid on very nicely, hit 3/4 up the stumps, and after all the compliments and kudos from one of the most stingiest commentators this league will see.
Well, Sujit Gowda disappears, and he's replaced by his captain, Hamad Azam. Hamad Azam does not have a lot of work to do. Only 16 runs required the rest of the way, 108 for 4. But another wobble. This wobble will concern the Dallas Mustangs brass. But ultimately, in this game, you don't think that it will make a very big difference in the context of this game. So captain to captain again. This is played off the back foot toward extra cover. They may come. No, they don't come back for the second. So I suggested earlier that they could do it in singles and win. I didn't think they were actually going to do it in singles.
I actually thought at the beginning of this over with Sheikh on strike, he may take on the leg side boundary a little bit, hitting with the spin. But Harmeet's been pretty much not turning the ball lately. He's just doing a lot of faster arm balls in this over. So the across the line shot, as we saw, would probably not be the good idea. There, it's going to be a little bit hard to go clear a boundary unless he goes straight.
I actually don't think he's going to turn or take on the left-handed spinner. Simply because at this stage, you need another 15 runs. What you've done so far is working, and it would be good to go into the next phase of the tournament with a not out against your name. I don't think he's going to take many chances there. So a single to close things out here in over number 17. 4 runs and a wicket. A good over in the context of things for the Xforia Giants. Still far behind in the game and very frankly about to lose. It looks like another 14 runs needed for the Mustangs. 110 for 4.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
At the end of that that last over, you were very astutely calling out how Ali Sheikh is maybe playing for a not out. And coming from a bowler, I was highly impressed with you, able to think like a batsman. The thought never occurred to me that, leave the innings with a not out, and we should just tap it around for a few runs. So, well done.
I low-key feel insulted by that.
No, it's a compliment. I'll tell you why it never occurred to me, because guess what? I was an opening batsman. I never got to see the end of the innings.
So Jaskaran Singh Buttar back into the attack. He's bowled 2 overs so far. And his 2 overs have cost 12 runs. And looking now really to close things out here. I don't know that there's much intrigue left in this match. But you still want to close on a high.
Jaskaran Singh Buttar has been the magic man. This is about the period of the innings when he was batting, when things started to happen. Maybe he's a late innings kind of guy. or maybe, as you said, Hamad Azam is on here at strike. I think they have a bit of a battle from yesterday that may be incomplete. Please tell people what happened yesterday and walk us through why this is so interesting, a little mini contest that could be coming up.
Looking to swing this away on the leg side, misses out. So in over number 19 yesterday, Hamad Azam is on strike. Jaskaran Singh Buttar is the bowler. To that point, he had bowled 3 overs, 17 runs. Over number 4 went 6.6666.
Wow.
It was brutal. And the striking was clean. He was batting from that end, and the ball was sailing all the way into the stands over here. So it was really, really amazing. Oh, that one gets through Ramiz Raj. That may get to the boundary.
It's going to be 4 runs.
It does get to the boundary for 4.
So after that setup, I am actually excited to see when Hamad Azam gets on strike. Hopefully Buttar is batting. And if I can generate some excitement, I will entice all these guys to go after they can.
So for that to happen, you need an odd number of runs to be run sometime soon, because Ali Sheikh, after having struck that 4, has brought his team to within 10 runs of victory, and he's still on strike. So 1 set, 114 for 4. You'll need another 10. You're into the 18th over. Jaskaran Singh Buttar has performed beautifully for today, but I don't think even he can get his team out of this situation. Great delivery, goes past the outside edge. He edged it. In fact, it's gone. I missed that. Once again, the reverse commentator's curse strikes.
I think Buttar just comes alive in the last few overs of an innings.
Oh my goodness.
He's just a late innings flourish kind of guy.
Wow, that was an amazing delivery. So I want to see the replay. I missed it live. There was very little flourish, very little celebration. Ah, there it is.
Just a straight delivery, trying to play inside out, and got the faintest of edge. So much for that not out.
What? Well, what I like, and going back to the conversation about recent cricket versus old cricket, Ali Sheikh turns and walks away.
Yep.
He does not wait for the umpire to give him out. For me, that is the thing that I miss most about our days when we played cricket. If you edge it, you walk. And that, for me, as simple a thing as it might seem to players nowadays, sometimes you knock the cover off of the ball. You know you knock the cover off the ball. Everybody who's watching the game knows you knocked the cover off of it, but you're still standing there waiting for the umpire to give you out.
I think, with DRS, we've sort of injected a game of poker in the middle of cricket. There's an appeal. The batsman doesn't make eye contact. They're all trying to read everyone's body language. What is going on? Then they decide to go take a DRS. And then finally they start telling each other, yeah, I hit it. No, I didn't hit it.
This is Ninad Nimbalkar. Oh, plays a late cut. Let's give him credit for playing that shot on purpose. Opening the face and getting that through the slips cordon, the vacant slips cordon for 4.
Touche. Thank you for making that point as well. Well, let's see. Would it have traveled to a slip? Oh, yes. That's exactly where a slip has been hovering this whole match. At 1.5 slip, it would have been in his lap.
Yep. Only 6 more runs required for victory now, though.
And I believe a slip is now going in position.
There's the expression of closing the gate after the horse has bolted. I think that's the embodiment of that exact expression. Because a slip right now with 6 runs needed for victory, frankly, doesn't make a very big difference. There's Jaskaran again. Played away into the leg side. They may want 2 here. And in fact, they get it easily. So, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to see the matchup that you wanted to see. Ahmad Azam against Jaskaran Singh Buttar, the remix.
I'm very happy. First of all, I want to do a shout out for all our viewers on YouTube who are watching us. The viewership has gone up in the last 2 overs. So either the game is getting more exciting or we're getting more entertaining. I'm not sure which one it is. But hopefully you've enjoyed the commentary today and enjoyed the cricket.
Lovely looking stroke down the ground for a single. That is the end of the over. Jaskaran Singh Buttar ends his 3rd over with his figures 1 for 23. And at the end of 18, the score is 121 for 5.
All right, 3 runs needed. This should be the last over of the match. An overall dominant performance by the Dallas Mustangs. You almost did make me do it. I made you do it at the beginning. Now you have it the other way around. The Mustangs have been consistently thorough in their performance today, going for the 2nd win in a row, 2 nights in a row. Yesterday was a run fest, almost 400 runs scored between the 2 teams. Today, the Giants could not post a competitive score. A little flourish by Buttar at the end allowed a target of 124. But it's been overall consistent display from the Mustangs in every department, fielding, bowling, and batting. And now it's really a formality to go knock off the last 3 runs needed. Prakash Patil coming in to bowl his last over.
Ninad Nibalkar has the opportunity to finish this game. And he'll be facing up to the left-hand spinner. 1 of 3 in the day for the Xforia Giants. I'm not sure exactly what that was. A little bit of Kieran Pollard gamesmanship.
And we have to continue this conversation. With 3 runs to win, we have a slip.
Tossed up, punched down the ground for a single. A relatively anticlimactic end to this match is underway. Just 2 runs remaining now. And so Harmeet Singh, the captain, has put himself into slip. Now we're moving Jaskaran Singh Buttar back on the boundary at deep fine leg. I don't know why you'd expect the ball to go there from a spinner.
There has been some strange field placements.
Ahmad Azam can hit the ball a mile. A scoop shot. Look at this. How Harmeet Singh after it, not able to get to it. But that does mean that the scores are level. I would not have expected a scoop shot from the big hitting Ahmad Azam. So with the scores now being level, the next run of any flavor wins the game for the Mustangs. Look at this again.
A little bit of having some fun, I think, here. You know, if you're going to play that shot and try it out maybe for the first time, now's not a bad time.
This is true. So just 1 run remaining. Oh, what almost happened there? Did he almost chop on Nimbalkar?
It was almost a forward defense onto his stumps.
Wow. And you would think that there's 1 delivery or so left in this match. In the air, and there you are. So the Dallas Xforia Giants go down in a heap. The Dallas Mustangs taking victory by the small margin of 5 wickets. I don't know that this game was as close as the final score might indicate, because it felt for a very long time that the Dallas Mustangs had this game under control the entire way. Your thoughts as we look at the scorecard?
I'll net it out. One team had all the intensity and professional workmanship there. I think the other team just came in flat today, and that resulted in the scoreline we see. Well done, Dallas Mustangs. A good chase. Partnerships. The scorelines may not look big. 35 from them on Anwar, and then small runs there, but partnerships. They had partnerships, and that wasn't the game for them.
So for the bowlers, they tried. They were always swimming upstream. Sanket Batul, I thought, bowled well. 3 overs, 1 for 20. Patil, 3.4 overs, none for 25, conceded the last run. Jaskaran Singh Buttar is the one, I think, who potentially could have made a difference had he been bowling earlier. 3 overs, 1 for 23. And then at the end, Akhilesh Bodhagam at the bottom there, 4 overs, 2 for 29. Should have had more than that with a couple of drops in his last over. Captain Harmeet Singh bowled well, but 1 for 17, needed more wickets than that. So ultimately, the Dallas Xforia Giants needing to win here today to end up remaining in second place, lose. And in fact, we can go through the summary here, but in a second I want to talk just for a brief minute about where we are in the overall division.
Just to recap at the start of the match, the bowling was so tight and so accurate from the Mustangs. Early wickets from Adil, Anwar, and Azam. Several guys, everyone was in the wickets, to be honest. Buttar had a great flourish at the end, a very entertaining knock, 55 of 32. And to be honest, it gave a score of some respect at the end of the day. Otherwise, there was a steady procession of wickets from the Giants. And then Dallas Mustangs knocked them out. Took a little while, but pretty much they were in control the whole time.
And so finally here, a quick look at the standings. The Dallas Mustangs are the top team in the Central Division. The number 2 team, because of what happened here this weekend, is now the Michigan Cricket Stars. The Dallas Xforia Giants are number 3. The Chicago Kingsmen are number 4. But pay attention to tomorrow, because tomorrow there's a match between the Lone Star Athletics and the Houston Hurricanes. If the Lone Star Athletics win that game, they will jump into the number 4 spot. So lots to play for still. The Dallas Mustangs take this game easily, but the Central Division shakeout will be managed or finalized sometime tomorrow. Happy to have been with you for the last 4 hours or so of your life. Thank you for joining us. Brian Walters and Maya Reshkokte signing off for the moment from the Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium. We'll see you soon.
See you all.
Mauled away for 6. Look at this.
Snuwanan, we're taking on Patil, and he has cleared the straight boundary with ease. Been a good over. And again, just picking up the ball off length.
Andreas Holtz. Oh, whipped away behind square for 4. A little too straight to Andreas Holtz. Oh, he's knocked him over.
There we
With
go.
both arms pointed upward. That just feels like extra drama. I don't think you're realistically being able to manufacture a wicket. That's actually one of them.
One
In
more.
the air again, same direction. Is it the same result? It is caught.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, what a catch by Ramiz Raj. Akhilesh Bodogam again. Driven in the air and
Catch.
gone.
Wonderful.
Straight to Harmeet Singh. 39 runs needed. Worked around the leg side. He may want 2 more here, Ali Sheikh. And here he comes.
Wow.
Strong throw, direct hit. Not out.
All right, start of the 14th over.
Oh,
And down the track, lifts it. That's going to be all the way for 6 runs.
here. So it was really, really amazing. Oh, that one gets through Ramiz Raj. That may get to the boundary.
It's going to be 4 runs.
It does get to the boundary for 4.
You're watching the Sunoco Minor League Cricket Championship, brought to you by our 2023 partners.